Another week, another pizza, and another podcast of me probably being sleepy.
Nap time, bro.
I was like yawning last week, and I feel it coming on already this week. It's a very...
You ate more this week than last week, I feel like.
No, he ate the exact same.
Yeah, I think it was the exact same.
I just didn't buy into his pressure.
Yeah. It was dense. It's just dense as fuck.
Shout out to Matt B. again.
Yeah, shout out to Matt. Because it is delicious. It is the best,
fantastic.
hands down, the best frozen pizza I've ever
it's
had
great.
in my life.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And not by a little bit.
It's
by a lot of
I
it.
love the crust. Like we talked about before. It reminds me of like Pizza Hut. Pan would be the closest.
Old school.
thing. Old school.
90s Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
What were we talking about? I feel like there was something I was talking about with you, Joey, that I wanted to bring up as an intro to the show, and now I can't remember.
That's the pizza, man. Slows you down.
Yeah, the pizza's making me fucking... I was gonna go for it. I was like, maybe I got still a little bit of sense left before I get canceled.
Don't make dollars.
It don't make sense. So yeah, Chris has a hard stop today. We have a full cast, so why don't we just go ahead and get into it? Let's see who. Joey arrived first. Chris arrived. Pharaoh arrived last. Pharaoh, how was your nerd week?
It was pretty packed, actually.
Nice.
Let's see here. I'm sorry, I'm getting,
We shared one thing. You and I.
what's the one thing?
The Pan Am flight.
Oh, so yeah, I guess I'll just get right into that one.
Yeah.
So I watched this documentary on Max. I believe it was originally a CNN documentary.
Yes, it was.
About-
4-part.
A 4-part mini.
4-part.
Four-part
Okay, now here's
miniseries.
the question we always have to ask. Did it need to be 4-part?
Nope, could have been a 2-hour movie.
Okay.
Yeah, or a 2-hour. It could have been just a 2-part documentary.
Two one-parter.
That's true.
You know, didn't have to be a movie.
That's true.
So it's about the mid to late 80s bombing of Pan Am Flight 103
That sounds familiar.
over Scotland.
1988. I have no recollection of this event.
I did not know of it at the time,
That's
but
only-
I've heard of it.
Yeah, that's the only reason I remember the name Pan Am.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Pan Am, I think a bunch of them crashed.
Yeah, it was It was just bad things
Why
all
they are
around
no
with that
longer-
company. They don't.
They are
exist
no longer
anymore.
a company.
Yeah, they got bought by one of the big three, I suppose, at some point.
And now you're flying those planes
Yeah.
Hopefully not those.
under a different banner.
Boeing.
Definitely really interesting, and it gets into the whole like global political scene.
Yeah.
They tried and convicted some Libyan nationals that they say were acting on behalf of the state
Of Muammar Gaddafi.
of Muammar Gaddafi.
Spell
Yep.
however you fucking want to spell it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Who is definitely the character in that Transformers episode
In Carbamia.
in Carbomia.
Yep,
And he's definitely dead now.
he is.
Like he's got the aviator shades.
I will
Like the middle,
say-
you know what I mean? Like
From my childhood
wild.
lens, remembering when that was, I guess Gaddafi was probably the first, I'll call it supervillain that the U.S. had outside of Russia, right? That was just
Since
this
Hitler?
horrible person in my lifetime. I'm
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah.
that old, bro.
So
yeah, I think you're right.
was he before Saddam?
Yeah.
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 Saddam
88.
came out in the 90s.
Saddam was
like
definitely
almost
fucking around. back
Yeah, he
then,
was,
though.
but
Yeah, but he didn't
90
become a villain like
91.
to like mainstream villain. He was like underground villain. He became like a mainstream villain when we went to war. He
was like a swordsman.
like early 90s, which I think like
Yeah, but he was still doing dirt.
for sure.
Right, but he-
but
but
he
didn't
wasn't in
care
the public
about him.
consciousness.
he wasn't.
The American public
Dan
consciousness.
Rather wasn't talking about him on the nightly news.
Well, so like the conspiracy theory is that he was a U.S. ally at one point.
Saddam.
Yeah.
I have no doubt.
He fits. I mean, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist for a number of reasons, but one of my favorite reasons that is not mine, but I jack it like it is mine,
Oh, I jack it like it's mine too.
so to speak. Is all right, fine. On the wrong pass.
Bobby Ford face over here.
Anyway, is I've never met a conspiracy theorist that believes in just one.
Yeah.
Right. and
one of
the
my favorite
other
quotes.
thing about it is
Yeah.
So a really good documentary. Some of the interesting things that I thought about it was, there's like an FBI agent that they're interviewing now, or when it was filmed, and they're showing pictures of him during the investigation, like meeting with like Libyan informants on a naval ship in the Mediterranean
Sea.
Yeah, like in international waters, like in order to make this all legit.
Insane. Like photographs of it. Like No getting out of that.
So you're saying there wasn't a text chain to follow?
So that. Yeah.
Yep.
So I watched a couple other things. Twister.
Oh wait! I want to talk about that a
yeah,
little more. So after watching it, it's a 4-part episode, and it leads you different directions. Like it suggests, because it's one of those documentaries that we both express frustration in, where it doesn't give you an answer. It pretty much says these are the possibilities.
But it's,
Or these are the main possibilities. So
Correct.
there's still other options.
Correct. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure.
but it's not a good documentary though, because it's not biased.
For sure. But it'd be best if maybe the documentary was done in 30 more years after they figured out who actually did it. And
If
then
they figure it out,
right. But,
That's
you
the
know,
problem,
but you know
right?
what I'm saying?
And there is bias by choosing which 2 or 3,
Sure. Sure.
options they're going to present.
Sure. So anyway, what
Sorry,
do you got going on?
sticky fingers.
So, but the point being is that they pretty much say that it's either Gaddafi in Libya. I don't know why that felt like a Libya, like a
Libya?
No, not Libya, but it felt like Libya, tell you what, or something like that. But and then
talking.
and then there was an Iran option. And those are the big 2, right?
Yeah, and
What does your gut tell you from those 2
that did the bombing? Blew up the plane?
that were responsible for the destruction of the plane?
Was it a planned destruction or was it a
yeah.
hijacking they decided?
It was a bomb that was
bomb.
put in on a timer.
from Malta.
For,
So from Malta to Frankfurt, Germany to Heathrow, and then the plane taking off from Heathrow to the U.S. is when it blew up.
Is it anyone important on there?
No.
Like
just for
190
funsies?
Americans.
Yeah, just for random funsies. Okay.
Well, unless it was Iran. If it was Iran, it was revenge.
Because we shot down.
Because
one of
we
their
shot
planes.
down a passenger plane of theirs by accident when they were at war. We thought it was a fighter plane coming for us.
I don't believe that unless you show me the text.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, my gut reaction was that it was one of 2 things. It was either Iran or it was a random act that the U.S. government used as a way to get after Gaddafi because
false
we didn't
flag?
like him.
So I'm going.
Not necessarily a false flag, like just a fortuitous event,
Oh, okay.
right? So that
Serendipity.
Not that they did it
because we had-
themselves, but they used it.
Because he
But
was
we
a
can
fucking
steer-
he was a fucking asshole, and we had a hard on for him,
Right.
And we wanted a reason.
so we can steer this the way that we want it to go, and it was just good fortune.
Oh,
that-
so like in Rogue One,
like weapons of mass destruction.
when he's saying
Similar,
people are going to
yeah.
die and get mad.
Yeah. I think I'm going with the Libya being responsible.
Yeah.
And mainly due to I believe the Iran thing is completely I think they're both as believable. But it's that fucking guy having his office next to that fucking timer maker in Switzerland. That
Seems to be a coincidence.
Well, so just because of that doesn't mean that Iran wasn't involved anyway, because they were in somewhat in bed. All
Okay.
those rogue nations were kind of
fair. That's fair. But I think those 2 guys were responsible for it. The 2 guys that they locked up.
League of Nations.
yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. That's more so. I don't know if Gaddafi itself was behind it, but
Right.
those 2 guys from Libya, I think they were responsible for the things they were charged with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mystery soft.
No.
okay.
No. Opinion.
Yeah, and there's definitely way more.
I thought
rabbit
you heard
holes.
it here first on Nerd Rage. No.
No. Just an agreement.
I think internet solved and real solved are quite different things.
Definitely a bunch of more rabbit holes that you could go down.
Yeah.
With all that, and then like when you get down to like, the chain of events that have happened since then, right? And they talk about it in the documentary where like they went to Libya, and there were commemorative stamps depicting,
Yeah. The shooting down of
or is that Iran,
that was Iran.
right? But then the Libyans hated us, right? And then they kind of like that whole event showed how lax security was for planes.
So that was interesting
September
too.
11th.
Yeah.
Then you
Yep.
go down to Benghazi, after we kill or we help the Libyans kind of kill Gaddafi, and then the power vacuum that leads to the situation in Benghazi, which like how everything is just all
dependent upon the thing before it.
I mean, it's always a
Yeah.
we keep
series.
the royal we keep meddling in all these other things with no idea how the ripple's actually going to affect anything else.
Yeah, it's just like corporate America. Oh, these three people, we don't know. They can take the voluntary separation. Oh, there's nobody in this department anymore. Oh,
And now
that
Pharaoh
fucking
can't get
sucks.
his email.
Yeah, now Pharaoh can't get his email.
Full circle. And I have more thoughts on that, but maybe we'll circle back to it another time. But just about meddling, because I am fundamentally against just meddling, but then there are often times where I'm like, well, if you see a fucking, if you see a fucking Black Widow coming into your house and you can get it outside,
See something, say something.
get it outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Twisters, more importantly.
Twisters.
The original?
No, that was Twister.
That was Twister.
Just one. Okay. okay.
This is Twisters, the revenge. Now it's personal.
So
The son of Twister?
wait, that's streaming somewhere now. I did see, but I don't remember where.
It was either Max or Netflix.
Okay.
So I wrote, and I'll just read originally what I wrote. 2.5 out of 10.
That's an F. I can
Yeah.
recognize that as an F.
Yes.
Yeah, terrible. An obvious twist.
Wait a minute. Is the
bloody in the
tornado
title.
sentient? Yeah. Why, is there a shark in it?
No,
Is the S a double entendre?
no.
That's a missed
It might be.
opportunity.
I mean,
Or
maybe.
Is there anybody
'Cause
from
it
the
refers to the
original
twist in
film
the story
that's not
and the
even in a
twister
cameo?
and
Helen
Nope.
Hunt doesn't pop up all
Not that I
frazzled
saw.
out of the... I would say I feel like both of those movies is pretty heavy into cultural appropriation from my personal experience.
so I think that's the problem I had with it. Right?
There you go.
So it was like a feel good bullshit romance movie.
With the set in the world of Chasing Storms.
Yeah, and it was cringe, as the kids say. And then so in my notes I say actually change it to 1 out of 10. Ruined my fucking day.
Wow.
Music was garbage.
Well, there's one. I do like that Luke Combs song.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Ain't no love in Oklahoma. That's okay. We can have different opinions.
So the female lead is weak. Helen Hunt was much better. Her character cried less and didn't need to be cheered on like a little princess. Right? So it's like, if you're going to make a woman empowering movie, like, why do they have to fucking cry?
That's because
All the
we're not the
time. And then,
target demographic.
Like, a couple of guys have to come along and like be like, "Oh, you got it, girl!" Like, shut
so
the
like
fuck
the
up.
average 27-year-old, give or take.
Man, you were just jumping ahead.
I hope.
Well,
I think you're the one getting us canceled today.
no, I'm just saying. Like, I think the generations after us.
You ever met one of these things? Women, people crying at the drop of a dime. I'm
people
bloody
are
tell you.
just so. I mean, people are coddled, and they. People who are watching that's how they are.
That's how they
That's how
relate.
they expect to be perceived in the world, and I think that's a reflection of that.
Is that the way they are? Or is that a product of their environment? Because they keep watching these depictions where they need to be. Where they're just
Because you're supposed to watch something you aspire to be, right? I mean, if it's
like, if you are a woman and you watch this movie and you aspire to be this weak fucking like, good luck. Good luck. Stay away from me. I don't want any part of it.
So it sounds like this has you.
You can
pretty
pull up to
twisted.
me, baby. I'll take care of you.
Sounds like this has you pretty twisted up.
in
Daddy got you. Sit right here.
Yeah, so like, and I rewatched Twister after it to
okay,
cleanse the palate.
Okay, nice.
And Helen Hunt's character is like a strong, capable woman, and I'm like, they had it right the first time. You had to go and fuck it up. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
This day and age, that's
This
weird.
day and age.
And in this economy,
So I also right back to my standard, which is aviation disasters. I watched the Columbia shuttle crash documentary, also on Max.
so let me
Is
ask
that the
you:
84?
No, this is like 2000.
The 2000 was the later one. I can't. Challenger was the other one.
when you finished Pan Am, did it suggest it as the next thing to watch?
No, I was going through adding things.
So it suggested it to me afterwards. That's why I was like, I wonder if he hit the same
So I
screen.
was going through things, adding to my list, and it was like, oh, that's good. That's good. Another aviation.
Yeah, so it's next on my list.
Yeah. Also, really good. I showed Bobby a sneak peek of it.
So to speak.
Yeah, so to speak. Of the documentary, not of anything else personal. So a really good one. It's the Columbia shuttle crashed or broke up, re-entering the atmosphere. Like post mission.
Yep, I remember.
And it was spoiler. They all died.
As far as we know,
that's true.
I'd be willing to bet a lot of money on that.
Have you ever seen the movie Aquaman? there's people under there. Permission to come aboard.
So that one was good. Also, slightly different. This was like managerial hubris and like a culture issue within.
I
within
think
NASA.
I did watch. Was that on Netflix?
This was also on Max.
It was on Max.
When I watched it. It was
Sounds like The Last Jedi.
I think I watched. I don't know.
It was a BBC documentary, so it's possible.
Okay.
Where like they knew about problems, and then they like the idea of them making a mistake was too much for them to handle, so they found every reason to say that it wasn't a problem.
I think that's how a lot of things are in everyday life in general, how people go
But
about
coming
things.
from the organization that like to think that they had control over everything, like, oh, we got good data on this.
You mean rocket scientists?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure I'm on the same page.
So like the whole thing happened because a piece of foam broke off of the external fuel tank and hit the leading edge of the wing of the shuttle. And they knew about it.
On the way up.
On the way up, on takeoff. They knew about it. And then people in NASA were asking if they could repurpose spy satellites in the vicinity to just look at the shuttle.
See if there's
if there's any damage. And they're like, no, it's fine. This happens all the time. We're good. And then like the ending of the documentary is there's somebody on the team who says that, like, there's a possibility that we couldn't have done anything to save them, right? Like there was no second shuttle ready to go.
Yeah.
There was no second crew ready to go.
Send the Russians up to get him.
Right. So
Armageddon.
he was like, we could have done things like, try to re-enter differently to protect that part of the shuttle, but they might have died anyway. But the thing that we didn't give them was the human element to let them say goodbye to their family.
Yeah.
So they knew about it, and then just like, well, we're going to hope for the best.
I mean, the crew didn't know about.
No.
That's the problem.
The directors, and if they would have,
Houston knew about it.
If they would have just said, "Hey, there's a real chance that this is not going to work," then they would have been able to have their kids on, record something, and instead they just spent the last couple of minutes of family time being like, "Yeah, see you on Saturday. Like everything's great. Okay, bye." And then
the ISS was up there. Why could they not have offloaded? I don't know.
I don't think it was done.
Was it not done in that?
No,
Okay.
because they continued the shuttle program to finish building it.
Did I ever tell you about my grandma making fun of my stepmom's kid for being a rocket scientist?
No.
So it's pretty good.
It's a great segue.
My stepmom, my grandma thought I was the greatest fucking thing that ever happened to the planet Earth, right? It's probably part of the problem as much my mother's beating me for no reason.
Offsets, right?
Yeah, so
Yin and yang, Bobby.
I'm of two minds.
At least two.
Good people on both sides.
So my stepmom has two sons of her own. Mm-hmm. And one of them is a scientist that works for NASA. So he is thus a rocket scientist.
Nice.
And she had made a point to tell my grandmother about this time and time again. Now, I'm half a fucking idiot, barely made it through fucking high school, was in Section 8 class. I mean, not Section 8 classes, but I was in Section 8 housing at one point. But I was in...
Wait a minute, Section 8 classes? Is that new?
I was in level 5 classes.
Is that new?
But for behavioral things, not for being, a table eater or anything. But I only say that because when they took me into that class, there was a kid literally chewing on his table. But anyway,
Delicious.
So, I had all these like issues in school, and then here she is just constantly talking about how her son's a genius, right? Her son's a genius. And my grandma can't stand it because she wants me to be the best thing that's ever happened, right? So this is fucking with her worldview. So anyway, he lived in New Orleans. This guy, Nick is his name. Nolans. He lived in Nolans, Nick did. And
Nick from Nolans.
Nick from Nolans. That's him. And so when Katrina came, it hit, like his shit got, like wherever he was staying was flooded, he lost everything, et cetera, like completely totaled his life in terms of ownership, right?
Was this like a 27-year-old bitch on a? Oh no,
the storm. And my grandma said, "Oh, Joan, that is just a shame, because he's so bright. He's such a bright person and just didn't know that storm was coming. They kept talking about it, but he just didn't know. And to be that smart." And,
That's so fucked up.
Hold on a second. Robert, you are live on Nerd Rage.
Nerd.
I knew it.
Perfect.
What's up?
Nothing much. I haven't had my coffee yet, so I'm not allowed to speak.
So what? Oh, you're
haven't
not allowed
had
to
my-
have coffee yet, so you're not allowed to speak. Understood. Anything pressing, or can I call you back?
Well, nothing pressing unless you can call me back. Who's there with you, though?
I got the full
Joe.
cast.
Full
Full cast.
clip,
Hey, Joe,
buddy.
Vero, and Chris.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Amazing. All right. Well, enjoy the show, fellas.
All right.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
See you, Rob.
Colin, just say hi.
Yeah, I'm calling just to say hi. So anyway, that was my story about rocket scientists.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. my grandma was funny, man. She was funny.
So the trivia team name this week.
Oh, what we got?
So I told you we always put showboats or something like that as an homage to the guy that we started playing with. Mm-hmm. Unencrypted text boats.
Nice. Nice. Did you win?
No.
Oh.
God, there's a lot of drama going on.
With the trivia world?
Yeah, with the latest addition and the most recent subtraction from the team.
Oh.
So we'll talk about that maybe some other time.
That was like a long years. How many years long story? 27 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So the last thing I have in here is people that don't understand the relationships they have based on the circumstance.
Uh-huh.
Right. So my landlord for my business called me yesterday, and I was in the middle of doing something where I think the machine was running, so it was very loud. So I declined the call, and she immediately texted me and said, I tried to send you an email. Thanks, bitch, for reminding me. It didn't go through. Need to tell you something. And I said, okay, well, if you have to email it, just forward it to, the owner of my company. He'll forward it to me because I'm not trying to give out my personal email
Yeah.
Right.
to all these
Terrible
people.
idea. Yeah.
Right.
Especially these days with the luck you've been having.
Right. Right. So, I said, just email it to Sam. And then she responded with, "Are you okay?" But like capital R space capital U space okay ? And I was like, "Listen, bitch, we're not friends." Like what? Like what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like
That's
because
weird.
I'm curt with my response of just email it to this other person that you have their email.
I think she was looking for, hey, sorry I had machines running. I missed your call.
They do like a long explanation of an answer.
But it's like, and I keep finding myself in these weird situations where people are not correctly identifying the relationship that's between us. Right? We're like, I don't have to apologize to the person that I'm buying plastic from,
Right.
Because I missed their call. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
See, I'm with you, but I often question whether like we're in the wrong and that it's normal for people to think of relationships, because to me relationships are a very, very specific thing.
Well, so-
and
but
most
there's a-
people to me have no consequence to me. But in seeing how other people treat each other, I don't think that's the case.
well, I'm not saying it's a green light to be an asshole.
Yeah, no. I'm
Right?
just
But,
saying, like, to me,
if
like
you're
you
asking me a business question, then I'm going to give you a business answer that does not involve the emotion that
People-
isn't needed.
Yeah, but I think that's a part of like how American customer service works. People are like extra nice to each other, and then that comes across as being
But why
friendly.
did she ask you if you were okay at all?
Right, because I declined the call and just said, "Okay, you can send that to Sam."
Maybe she's hitting on you.
I hope not. That's gross. No, but like, like, and I keep finding myself in it, and I get it if it's the other way, right? Like if I'm talking to one of my customers, I will be nicer or more accommodating, but I never cross that line of
Thinking your friends.
like, hey, bro, did you want to give me a call back with that answer on that quote that I sent you? No, that's not professional. That's unprofessional, right?
Yeah.
I agree, but people do that.
Well, it
Well,
would depend on your relationship with that person, in my opinion. Like,
Well, so if it's just the business
yeah,
relationship, and I keep finding myself in it.
Mine gets murky all the time.
Yeah, it's
I
very
hate
Because of
people
like, I'll talk to somebody on DM, you know what I mean, for years, but like we've never met. It's just me answering Transformer questions,
right.
for years, and then if I give a curt response, I think sometimes there have been people
Get in
that
their
have
feelings.
taken that personally. And it's like, look, like I am friendly to you because I appreciate this symbiotic relationship, right? Like if you don't move your feet, then I don't eat, right?
Right.
But
Well, yours is a little bit different because what you're selling is your personality.
that is true.
yeah, that's fair.
It becomes like a parasocial relationship. At
That's
that
fair.
point.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's a good point.
So like, I was emailing.
It's very rare that I just have to stand down on a fucking argument, but I'll stand down.
I was emailing ShipStation, right? So I called, spent 5 hours one day on hold, waiting to talk to somebody. Finally get him, explain the situation. He's like, yeah, do you have a different email? I'm going to add this other email as the primary. I'm going to leave your other email intact. That way, in case you get it back, that you can switch it over. I'm like, perfect, awesome. He's like, hey, log in. So I'm on my phone. So I log in from my phone. I'm like, hey, it works. He's like, great. Anything else? I'm like, nope, perfect. Thank you so much. Like, great experience. Minus
Not a
the 5 hour-
TYSM.
minus the 5 hour hold
Yeah.
before that. But like when I got somebody, I felt like we resolved the issue. Yeah, good. So then I log into my laptop and it's back to sending it to my other email. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I clear the cookies, clean the cache, do everything, still doesn't work. So I'm like, I'm not going to spend another 5 hours waiting. So I'm like, I'll use the email function because I can at least send product now from my phone, and
Right.
it's easier if it's on my laptop. So I send an email, and then like 2 days later, they respond. Wild that it takes that long. And she goes, can you confirm your identity? I'm like, well, I'm emailing you from the email account that's on the fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look, this is all I need done. I just need you to not send the verification email to the secondary one. Send it to this one. Well, I need to confirm who you are. I'm like, you are going to send me a link to this email address that's going to be confirming. I have to confirm on top of the confirmation.
You should have gone onto Reddit and found POV jerk off porn and found a username and then had it like I am username such and such and then sent that and then be like, oh, wrong one, please, and then say please delete and then send another one with
So,
That would have been the professional thing to do.
so I broke down because like I send an email, then it's like a day later she sends a response, then I send a response immediately. It's another 2 days. So this has been going on for like 10 days. We're just back and forth the 4 emails, and at one point I broke down. And I was like, listen, fix my fucking account, or I'm going to delete. I'm going to stop paying the bill. Like we're at the point now where if you don't fix this, I can't justify paying you money anymore.
Yeah, there's other places you can ship stuff from.
Right. And her response was, no need for the language.
Did you say that that's how communication works is through language?
And
Because you didn't curse, right?
no, I said, fix my fucking account.
Oh, well.
Right.
But
like,
it's an escalation.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, but I also get that. Like, it's that to me is a poker play, right? So when you elevate it to that, we're here now.
Yep.
We're here. You have to open yourself up to the idea of somebody else saying, okay, now you have firmly violated like a code of conduct in this professional communication. And if you're good with that and ready to take it wherever it goes,
and I was.
yeah, then by all means.
Because I was ready
But the
to.
moment that you do it, you do open yourself
You're
up
ready to burn it down.
I was ready to burn it down.
Right.
And just be like, you know what? Cancel it all.
No return.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
And weirdly enough, it worked.
Wow.
She responded like 30 minutes later. And
Smooth sailing.
Love that.
we got it fixed. So,
It's awesome.
Yeah.
but yeah, I was wondering if you guys had any similar.
No,
Weird
but
relationship.
thinking through that, if I've talked, I mean, if I'm familiar with somebody at work.
Yeah, I'm not talking like the 20-year customer that you've like met.
No,
for
I'm
drinks
talking
a
about
couple
like I
times.
deal with people from other companies. I mean, I know this, so I'll send them a, hey buddy, can you double check on the XYZ, or can you confirm that you guys have done this? I mean, I'm very hey buddy with people. I don't think if that's the same as bro. Give me an update. You know, this is one of my buddies at work. Yeah, maybe, but you know, I try to be professional. I wrote an email out the other day to a prospect. And I worked on this email for 2 hours, combing through it and making sure it was worded right and make sure it wasn't too passive aggressive, but aggressive enough. I mean, seriously. And I was very proud of this email, and I sent it, and I've never heard a word. Like, damn it!
This was on my nerd week, actually. That like, I feel so fucking awkward. That's what I wrote because. So I've been with my company for close to 10 years.
Is this the Christmas tree company?
Yes.
But not the Christmas tree store.
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Maybe.
So like there are people I've worked with for years. I've been there longer than most people now actually, but I've been there for years, right? And they see me all the time. And they try to talk to me and I don't like it. I don't want I don't like about work is fine and like just minor like
Just start answering.
it's
them.
raining today. It's fine, but when they like start just trying to have conversation with me, like I don't know what to say.
Just
Oftentimes it's
start
just
talking in Mandarin and walk away.
I mean I don't respond. I feel awkward. I feel like the weird one coming out of the conversation because like they're talking to me and like my responses are all like conversation enders. Like I would instead of like asking a question back or giving a detailed answer, I'd be like, "Thank you," and like
I think that
You
we
think
all.
somebody-
I just feel fucking
honestly,
awkward.
you'd think
I think
people would
I don't
get-
want to
get
talk
the
to
drift,
people,
though, right? Like, I mean, Joey's cool, but he's not a big chatter. I mean, if we were in that situation, I would, hey Joey, what's up? And, and then I'd come over. I mean,
Different situation,
I'd
right?
come over and talk to you like, hey, have you seen whatever business? But I know you're not a bullshitter. I mean, I have that people at work that I'm cool with, and we will be on a Teams call for fucking 2 hours just bullshitting. And then I know the people that like, I'm going to talk to you and tell you what I need, and you're going to tell me if you can do it or not, and that's the end of the conversation. But I know that because I've gauged, and it boggles my mind that people don't gauge that from you. Like,
Well, it's because I'm nice and cordial, and I smile because it's work, right? I have my work face on, and I need to be liked at my job to get what I've gotten. I have to be liked,
Yeah.
right? So I'm able to.
You got to
make
use
people
what you got to get what you want, girl.
Exactly.
The moneymaker.
So
She's so radical.
So
wrong
people
one.
mistake that for
Obviously.
who I am, I think, and it's not, and it's awkward. And people do regularly like chat with me, and I don't. Maybe they don't feel it, but afterwards, I'm like, man, I must have just come up as a
well,
fucking
if the
weirdo.
same people come back later and chat with you, you're not. It's not as harsh as you are thinking it is.
Well, I think sometimes it's hard to navigate expectations of a conversation in general. I love mixing it up. I love like
yes.
I
you're
hate
a social person.
I hate small talk. I don't want to do small talk. I'm not interested in it. I have no time for
So
it.
I'm of two minds, Bobby.
I'll
about that.
I'll exit stage left out of small talk ASAP. I want to start at medium talk.
So
at minimum. Hold on one second. So sometimes people, because I'm often going to medium to large talk, will come in to a room that I'm in, specifically at work, and kind of, I think, either A, wait for it, or B, try to throw me one little piece of fish food to watch me go. But sometimes I'm either A, not really in the mood to go, or B, it's not enough to go. But I can tell in their expectation, they're like, no, I came here for the show.
I put a quarter in this machine. Why is it fucking dancing?
Exactly.
It's a dollar machine, and you only put a quarter in it. That's the problem.
And I find that sometimes hard to navigate. And then sometimes I'll try to force it. Like I'll be like, all right, let me see what I can cook out of this. You know, and then I can see it's not working. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm doing the best I fucking can here. I mean, you know, you asked me about the pickling process, and I'm trying to relate it to dicks the best I can. But, you know,
Pickles and dicks, similar shapes.
you know, there's a line out there beyond the horizon somewhere where even I fall off, you know. But like I have a hard time. I think that everybody has those circumstances in their life where they find it challenging to navigate the expectations of communication.
Yes. And it's easier when I'm in an active workplace, right? Like you guys, well, you're not, but you guys are in like active workplace where you could
time to time.
you could be doing things which like I find myself okay in those situations, but now I'm working in the office a lot.
Oh, right.
and that's a problem because I feel like a captive audience.
What about
Came
into work?
What if you have your headphones? You have your headphones on?
I don't, and I'm not. I contemplate. I actually asked Chris to give me some noise canceling headphone because haven't been in the best headspace lately, and I've been like bipolaring in my thoughts of like just extremes. Just like now I'm fine. Like like last night coming home, I was not fine, and then right now after I sat down and had pizza with you guys, I'm fine. But I'm worried about tomorrow lately.
You should try having pizza before.
Maybe that's the cure. Maybe about, maybe
bro,
about 20 pounds.
I was just like,
frame.
It
This
is called
about-
buddies.
Hey,
It could be your own little personal buddy. But buddy.
You lose all your friends, you still have your buddy.
Yeah.
and so like the big thing, like what I was talking about was not like when you've already kind of crossed that line with people, right? Like if you can become friends with somebody you work with or a customer.
Yes, it has to be
I'm talking
mutual
about,
thing
like,
though.
Like with my landlord, I've never had a conversation outside of oh, the rent is due on the 28th of every
Yeah,
month,
so that's weird to me.
right? So like, are you okay?
Unless she sent something to sends it wasn't meant to go to you anyways.
Right. So
Well,
it's like-
people are starting to like are talking to me about like the kids and pets and shit, and I'm just like not about us.
yeah,
I remember
but
I was
they're not reading the room.
But they also
correctly. They're not reading that.
we're like a section of cubicles in the office of cubicles. So this is like a little department. So like there's anywhere between 3 to 6 of us in there at a given time, and everyone talks to everybody. But like now I am part of that department, but I don't want to be part of their social group.
Right.
I was at JD's wedding.
Vance?
No,
What does he look like?
there wasn't. Dude, that's
Fat face Vance?
I still love those memes
Pissy
so
Pants. Did you see the Pissy Pants Vance action figure?
much. No, but
Yeah, it's a
I
wonderful
want
tool.
it, and I want it on
no, it's not going on my shelf.
There's
I'm running out of room.
There's an empty detail right there.
right there.
We can put, you can put it with the Robert D. nonsense in that bottom shelf.
That
over
would
there.
definitely fit.
If he's listening, he'll get you one.
Yeah, probably. He got Jisk, the giant transforming Donald Trump. That like, of course,
Jesus Christ.
But anyway, so where the fuck was I going with that? Where was I at?
JD's wedding.
JD's wedding, and and it was a community-based wedding, right? And I was there, and I was there just to get fucked up, like a normal wedding. That's all I really want to do is get fucked up and listen to music. Actually, that's all I want to do.
Period. And wear sweatpants.
I just and wear sweatpants and then have conversations. It just so happens I've turned mics on. I would do the same thing, right? So like I'm there, and somebody came up to me and started talking to me about Quake Wave, Fans Toys Quake Wave. And like, and I'm a few in, and I just looked over at Laura, and Laura like was close enough to me where the guy couldn't really, and she was like, "You can't do this right now, can you?" And I just looked at her and shook my head, and she,
I know that.
and then she looked over at him and was like, "I got to get him some food. He needs to eat. I'm sure he'll be around to talk later," and like wrestled me away to the food tray. I was like, and I like the guy. Like I love the guy. Like I just couldn't. I wasn't in the frame of mind for. But once again, it's just navigating the expectations of what the communication line is going to be.
Well, I mean, what that confuses me too at this office now, because in my cubicles section, one of the person is a administrative assistant, right? So
Not an assistant to the administrator.
no,
Okay.
she administers the system. I'm not sure.
Assistant to the regional.
But what I know is that we all chat. Like I'm involving myself because I'm involved in this chat. We all normal.
Are these
people.
unencrypted chats?
Definitely unencrypted. Very much so. But then out of nowhere, this one other person in the cubicle would be like, "Hey, can you get me some coffee?" Because she's the administrative assistant, and it's just it's just really weird
right.
to me. But she doesn't. Neither one of them feel a way about it. She's like, "Okay, let me go get some." But to me, I'm just like, "That's wild." I would never ask her for anything.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, I had that situation
So
with my
awkward.
fucking kids sometimes.
What do you mean?
So my oldest, Jane and I are tight Like we're like friends tight. Like we have a great line of communication. We share shit. Like I share shit to her. I don't share law in a sense, you know.
You have a consigliere in the house. I too have one of those.
Yeah. So like you know, we have a fantastic relationship, but I'm still her dad.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I still gotta fucking lean on her. Mm-hmm. You know, and I hate doing it because it's fucking awkward. It's weird because it does seem like a violation of our relationship.
Oh yeah, like your friends in office is like, hey, go clean your room.
Well, I mean, honestly, managing people is it's challenging. Like in
That's why I don't want to be. That's why I don't want to be a boss.
Right.
I don't want.
No,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
want,
saying.
want to be
Like,
that
buddy
space.
the boss.
You know,
I don't want to be that space.
Back when I was in the film industry, at the video stores, like
Oh,
you
I
know,
thought you meant pornography.
that's the common misconception.
There's a behind the
Is
beaded
it because
curtain.
I'm so tall? There's just some
Curiosity.
assumptions.
Yeah, it's your height.
Okay. Sure. Oh, anyways, you know, you make friends with these people because you're with them fucking 50 hours a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, Farrell, listen, you blew that guy's car up in the parking lot and you put the battery in backwards. I hate to do it, man, but you know,
I get to go home early.
yeah.
Oh,
You have to
sweet.
go. You have to go for a drug test because there's
Oh,
accidents.
You get to go home early and you don't have to come back.
So what you mean is I get to go home early and not come back.
Yeah.
That's I don't want to be.
It's interesting though. You know, it's just an interesting human sociological thing of
Get up and give me some coffee. That's
Yeah, exactly.
Was she going to get coffee already?
No.
Oh, so
no,
it's
she
her
was sitting-
fucking job.
But that's her job. She's
Right,
there to
but
like.
why-
If
but
you need
why does that
some-
job exist?
Yeah,
anything the
that's-
office needs. If you need paper, she'll get it. If you need something ordered, she'll get. Like she does work.
But go get me some coffee.
That's part of the job.
That's crazy.
She refills the coffee machine also.
Is it a Keurig? Or is it a coffee pot?
There are two different
No, I'm
ones.
serious. Because if it's a Keurig, bitch, go make your own
then
fucking coffee.
And sometimes someone would say, "Man, I could use a coffee right now, or I could use a drink," and then she would pop up like, "You want a hot cocoa?"
Right.
It's weird to me.
She sounds awesome.
Maybe
She
she
is
should
great.
just
She is
embrace
fucking
her.
great.
Is she
Can we
down for
get her here?
is she down for the threesome?
Tell her to bring a spoon because we have creamer to stir.
and her kid.
No sports.
I just found out because of small talk that her kid is a YouTuber and has tens of thousands of followers.
Nice.
Oh, fun side because we're all sidetracking today, which is fine.
I have no idea what we're talking about anymore.
I think it's Farrell's Nerd Week, actually.
Check this out.
And Buddy's Pizza.
So my kid, Jaina, has become a fan of this YouTuber, right? And she watches his content all the time. And then she was like, I realized that he like would mention Transformers a lot. So she went to my Instagram and her favorite YouTuber follows my Instagram. And then she was like,
Who's the daddy then? You know?
and she was like, what the fuck? You know,
You always used to say your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber.
YouTuber. There you go.
Oh, full circle, finally. You spoke it into existence.
That's great.
yeah, I can name drop some other motherfuckers out there too, but I'm chill.
But that's still your nerd week.
Still your nerd
My
week.
bad for hijacking that shit.
Oh,
Good conversation
yeah.
with zero expectations.
Well, you do get us coffee every week. You ask.
That is true. That is true.
The
But
only
none of us would ever be like, hey, Bobby, can you go get us some coffee?
Give me pop up. I wish somebody would tell me to pop up
Hey, were you
and not mean to just show up at the event.
can you pop up and give me another cup?
Guess all?
It ended at $4.99, folks. We almost made it.
The only other thing that that I watched was Wolves on Apple.
Not of Wall Street or
No, it's the-
Man, not
Is
Wolf's
it,
Man,
and not wolves,
not
but
Dancing
wolves?
with.
I think it was Wolves. It's Clooney and Pitt.
All right.
So they play. So it's Double Dreamy.
Hey,
Well, how,
Obviously.
is it new?
Last year, I think.
That's new.
I'm recalling this as you're describing it.
What's the premise?
So they're like they're two fixers,
Oh, I need to watch this. Let me find it.
right? So and Clooney is kind of the stereotypical like old school Vegas fixer kind of, but they're not in Vegas.
Reno.
Like wearing a suit, everything's kind of like low key. Like you pick up a hooker and she dies. Like he'll just
Sort it out.
body.
Yeah,
just
yep.
looks like it never happened. And then Pitt is like the new school one. So like.
I don't know if I have Apple right now or not.
And they end up like working together in a way. They kind of get forced into working together. So
Buddy
like,
cop, kind of.
Huh?
Is it like a buddy cop feeling?
no, because they're very contentious.
Okay. But not in a funny kind of way.
There are parts of humor in it. So like Clooney's trying to like move this body, and the Pitt character is just like sitting at the table drinking a Coke, and he's like, that's against the rules. Like, you're touching stuff, you're moving things that don't need to be moved. And he's like, your rules, not mine. You know.
Is it a show or a movie?
It's a movie.
Nice.
So, like a couple of action scenes. It was funny, really good story, great acting. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Nice.
B,
Like a C plus B minus.
C plus, B minus. Okay.
You know, not one that I'm going to be like, you have to go see this, Joey.
But you would enjoy it probably
If you have 90 minutes and you want to give it a shot, you know, like I think it's a good show. Good movie. And that's it.
All right. And then Christopher?
Oh, okay. I watched a lot of stuff.
I
So
assume you're going to talk about the unencrypted chat.
what do you know?
I know a lot about it.
Okay. I did want to
It's
mention.
got my Reddit handle in it. I know that much.
So, my kid's still in the hospital. It's been over a week now. They are basically just trying some different things to see what works while my wife fights with the insurance company. She got a call from the insurance company yesterday. First of all, they denied his hospital admission because it wasn't necessary. Strike one. Been in the hospital a week.
It wasn't necessary, but had to stay all week.
Yep. Kelly gets a call yesterday afternoon from Anthem, and they're calling to check on Charlie since he's home from the hospital. And Kelly says, I'm sitting here with Charlie in the hospital. And this was at like 4:30 or some shit, right?
In the morning?
No. I'm surprised it wasn't. No, in the afternoon. Right before, everybody's done for the day. And she says, I can't even find his file. Let me do some research and it'll be tomorrow. I'll get back with you. Okay, great. So I will tell you, as a father, probably the worst feeling is being helpless and
Powerless.
helpless to do anything for your children.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. It really is.
It sucks.
There's a lot of misdirected anger in my body right now. So
Is it at all possible to like? I mean, I'm sure anything that I fucking have ever thought of, you thought of 10 times fucking over.
never know.
But like, because I'm guessing the insurance is through your work, and is that the only insurance they offer?
We have the highest plan they offer.
Because like I get frustrated even with my insurance, like because it's totally different. Not comparing at all, but my dental insurance, like a lot of places don't accept my dental insurance.
Well, dental is a challenge.
But like that's the only one they offer.
Hey,
so if I want a different type, I got to go buy it myself.
This is what's wild. Hey, man, we offer health insurance, but you're going to have to do something different with them teeth and eyes because we ain't going to carry for that. How fucking wild is that shit?
I need those teeth and eyes, though.
Well, I mean, you can find a plan for sure. So I've been home a lot by myself over the past week, which is weird because Kelly's always there. Charlie's been there. One of the kids is there. So it's just very strange being in my house by myself. It's kind of refreshing. I really check myself.
Well, did you jack it like it's yours? Did you jack it like it's yours?
I really try to keep it all in one room. Keep the DNA.
good for you.
Keep the DNA in one spot. So
I'm can't say this thing.
Is that why the chairs are sticky?
No, never in. I've never jacked it in here.
I think fluid's been produced in this room, is what he's saying.
I think he's saying that. and I wonder which
table
one of
was
these
sticky when I got
characters
here.
has-
Never been broken in.
Never on this table. Never in these chairs.
These chairs.
No, it just came last week or 2 weeks ago. So you got
They're
time.
gonna come.
Are these chairs from Amazon?
No, I don't think so.
That's a.
I'm gonna come.
That's a
oh,
callback.
because I have my
That's
little.
a callback.
There we go.
So quickly, I forgot I could go for that tonight.
So let me know
Even
what,
in this economy, after all that pizza,
Yeah, well, I'm not even going to tell her about the pizza. I'm just going to be like, hey, teach me some yoga.
let me know what time. I'm getting kind of desperate.
Dude, if that was how we started the 500 Nerd Weeks. So I came over and watched Bobby get fucked Amazon style.
Well, you just said it out loud, or I would have done it.
wow.
So we went up and visited. I took the other two up, and we visited on Saturday. And Charlie's not wired in constantly. He has a whatever
IV.
an IV insert, but they just put fluid in when he needs it or whatever, so he can move about the building.
Yeah.
So we want to go for a walk. We're like, fine.
Yeah.
And it's actually a pretty interesting hospital because it's like the old part and the new part, and the way
It's always the old wing.
there's like glass, right? Like there's this giant glass wall, very modern architecture, and literally in the other side of it looks like I'm building a fucking fire escape diorama.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should take some pictures of that.
Was
Yeah.
there a bum shitting right next to the glass?
I did not see any bums shitting on the glass, but we got done walking around, and Charlie, he sleeps a lot just because this is exhausting for him. So I could tell he was getting pretty tired. But we walked back in the wing. It was 5 of us, and the lady working like the security desk says, "Sorry, only 4 at a time." And my wife, I'm glad I wasn't a roller skating around because she'd have beat the brakes off that bitch. She was like, "Oh, we're going to fix this." And she goes up to the front desk. The woman didn't realize that Charlie was a patient, the kid with the fucking IV and the wrist and the bracelets on. Anyways, I just thought it was funny to see my wife get all wound up.
Is it a turn on?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. When Kelly does it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you don't even know. We were, Kelly and I had gone, we were on the way back from a con somewhere in New Jersey, and we had stopped at a Cracker Barrel to eat.
Oh,
Delicious.
And
I'm
we're-
in.
And we're walking through the parking lot, and somebody almost hits us. She slaps the hood of the car and says, "What's good, motherfucker?" You don't
amazing.
play, man.
That's amazing.
My wife don't
I love
play.
it.
Did you guys fuck in the parking lot right
Yeah,
after
right
that?
there. Yeah, right there.
Right on that guy's hood?
So there's some debate about which drugs, and the doctor said, quote, "We need to continue on the same path we're on." But then he said, and this is a quote, "If insurance says no fucking way we're ever going to approve this medicine, then we'll look at something different." And I said, "That's what he said?" He said, "Yep, the doctors get just as pissed as we do."
yeah, they do.
So
A lot of people don't think that doctors on their side. It's just that they're also powerless.
no, and
somehow.
they understand, and like
But there are ones who become straight. The ones who's been doing this, and it's just broken people, and they just don't do nothing
right.
anymore.
Well, and
It's just like, yeah, it's not gonna work. Whatever.
The good thing I'd say, if there is a good thing here, is the fact that we have, Johns Hopkins that's here.
Yep.
Johnny Hop.
And we're not at Carroll County Community Health Hospital in,
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
Westminster, where my wife almost died. But Kelly said that there were 5 doctors and nurses and a tech in the room when he said that. Nobody batted an eye. So they're all on board. And peer review is such a fucking joke. Like, we need a peer review. They get a fucking sports medicine guy to do a peer approval with a pediatric gastroenterologist or whatever guy, GI guy.
Specialist,
Yeah. And it's like, well, he doesn't need that. It's fucking ridiculous. But that being said, I've been home a lot. I've been sleeping by myself in my bed. I woke up the other morning, Joey, and there was stir fry all over the fucking bed. I was apparently sleepwalking.
Was it Friday?
Son of a bitch! That's a dad joke and racist.
Is it Stir Friday?
Why? Because I can't use a wok.
Would you specifically look at me?
Cultural
No,
appropriation.
I tell you the jokes.
Yes.
You're my you're my muse. Oh, let's see. So, okay, here's the question. And Kelly and I have been debating about this, and there's a TikTok video that kind of explains it. When you read, think about when you read something.
LOL at me reading.
Do you read plenty? I'm not talking about a book. I'm just reading a fucking article on your phone
yeah.
about the newest drill rapper and what felonies he's coming into it with. When you read those words, like Lil Nobody has 17 felonies, do you see those words in your head, or do you just recognize that pattern? Right? Do you have to maybe not visualize, but do you have to hear? Do you hear yourself reading it in your head? Because apparently some people, my wife does that.
What?
I hear
If she reads something, she hears those words being said in her head.
Yeah, I hear that.
Okay.
It depends on what it is, because
Like, if
usually it's the imagery that just conjured up. But if it's
Right.
straight facts, then it's just like reading.
Right. So if you're reading a SOP at work,
Like
right?
if I did USB out mark right here
Yeah.
in my head as I'm going through, I hear those things in
Oh,
my head.
I don't.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I just I see the word command and I know what it means.
One of it means Kelly and I got learning disabilities.
Well,
It's a similar thing to what I was talking about.
maybe a
before.
learning.
Yeah, with
it
the
could be a
Apple.
learning ability, right? I don't know. It's just interesting, and it's kind of hard to. We don't think about it. We just do it, right? It's like you didn't ride any of this bike wrong for 40 years. Well, it doesn't fucking matter if I took the seat off. That's how I know how to ride the bike.
Well, where do you put the pole to the seat?
I hide it.
You know damn well where.
Okay, this is awful. Like you might and put your finger on the button. So at Johns Hopkins pediatric wing, and one of my kids came up with this, but I'm totally stealing it. When you get to floor 10, it's a little kid. Floor 10, pediatrics.
Really?
Are those kids still alive?
Oh.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's statistically probably not.
Well, my kids in the hospital right now.
Yes.
But it is.
Yes, they're still alive.
It is.
100%.
now.
Every
They
single
are
one of them,
adults.
they're
It is
all
so-
thriving.
It is so cringy. It is so cringy.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I've been meaning to share that the times I've been.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean,
yeah.
it is. Well,
Wait, do you think they use the kid that's got a good prognosis? in
Yeah.
his
Well, I
voice
think I gotta get them up to the
recording?
microphone. The microphone's got germs on it, you know? Like,
It's probably like, hey,
you wouldn't just.
you're never going to leave here, so make part of it your own.
They have like a little recording studio there with TV cameras and shit. Like, I guess kids can come down and do stuff. They played bingo the other day over the loudspeaker, and Kelly played for him because Charlie was asleep.
B6.
He won a chess set.
Oh.
nice.
Speaking of chess set, I don't talk about my daughter much because she just sleeps. She sleeps more than any person I've ever met.
It sleeps and eat
How old is
just chicken nuggets
She's
and crackers,
17.
right?
Yeah.
What'd you call me?
Chicken nuggets and crackers. Right, that's all she eats. That's all I remember. That she just eats chicken nuggets and crackers.
She's gotten a little better, but it's still pretty sparse. But
ketchup now.
she's taking some. I don't know what they call the class. Instead of shop, they're learning how to fucking model 3D print in
Oh,
on
nice.
set.
That's awesome.
So her first project was you had to design a chess set. Like you had to take each piece and make it your own. And she finished it on a Sunday night, which was wild. So I'm like, okay, you actually like doing this.
Right.
So she finishes it, and the next, or maybe it was Monday, one day, she comes back from school. It's like, did you turn your project? No, it's not due for 2 weeks. I'm like, I said, why did you do it all at once? Because it wasn't that hard. I said, so when are you going to print it? She's like, I have to wait on everybody else to finish. I said, well, we can print it here if you
Right.
just want to print it.
Yeah.
And she actually designed the and I'm assuming the printer they're using has a tiny little print bed because she's had to design the board in little puzzle pieces. So it's all puzzle pieces. So I said, so what are you going to do? She said, she had told me she had to go back and redo it because it had to have a specific base. I'm like, well, now that you're past the parameters of what they want, just go bananas. And she did. She put holes and stars and names and just fucking, I'm like, this is incredible.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. But then in that same,
Suns, moon, stars, and quasars.
that's right, man. It was like a fucking box of Lucky Charms up in that motherfucker.
It's a Boys in the Hood reference.
Yeah, I got you. So I think there's two separate. I think there's a class where they do that, and there's a class where they're like learning how to use the 3D printers. They had a whole like week-long class on removing supports from 3D prints.
With the new ones, you can just dissolve it in water.
Well,
Yeah.
they do make that, but also it's like you break off the parts you're not supposed to have. The hot trick now is to use a different type of filament and a different color for the supports
Because
And it makes it
it's
super
common
easy.
to have a double print now.
Hang on a second. Yes, I just thought that was cool that she was doing
Yeah, that's
that.
awesome. Anytime kids express interest in some shit that's like not like just fucking
Well, I'll be honest with you.
uselessness
I passed
is great.
a horrible trait on to her and Mason, and it's hyperfixation.
Yes.
So she'll be all about this, but
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
no, it's not. As long as you can learn how to direction it.
Yep.
I actually have to take them to the store because Kelly's been ordering meal kits, and I swear to God, there's 4 different meal kit companies that we order from, and my wife.
Freshly? You do freshly?
We haven't done Freshly, so we do HelloFresh, Blue Apron, Home Chef, and Marley something.
And me.
It's not Marley and
It's
me.
fucking depressing.
it's fucking
It's not.
Mall?
That's when you just eat and cry.
But this is the one. Marley Spoon. That's what it's
Oh,
called.
I thought they had a mall.
No.
Oh god,
And
it's
this
another
is-
depressing place.
And this is the one that
And
Martha
that fucking
Stewart
guard style
reps.
apartment across the street from it is fucking a war zone.
Terrible.
This is the one Martha Stewart reps, right? So all these other ones, let's say we have
Smell like weed.
not yet. So
Dog is just
so
around the
let's say
corner.
we've ordered 4 meals. It's going to be there's a brown bag that's Farrell's Magic pork chops, and everything's in the bag, and Bobby's Thai inspired shrimp, right?
That would be what I had. to
Right,
offer.
and Joey's steak and potatoes, because I don't want to be racist, right?
Now my stir fry walk.
Wait, then why'd I get pork chops?
You look like a pork chop. So, and all of them do that. The meat comes separately. There's little packs of meat, but everything, like all your ingredients in the back. Well, Marley Spoon's like, fuck that. Here's everything that goes to all 4 of these recipes in one fucking box. Oh, and you had 4 recipes? Now you only need 3 of the recipe cards. So I had to scour the internet to find the fucking recipe.
It's supposed
it's
to be
very
creative.
frustrating.
You're supposed to create your own.
I think, well, that's the thing about these meal kits. Most of them, it's like, hey, dumbass, if you need some fucking butter, the butter's in the recipe. But this one's like, nope, you're going to need, I have to buy a fucking meat mallet. I don't have a meat mallet.
Is this
And I
like,
have to cook-
Like a
there's-
tenderizer?
Yeah, there's
You don't have a fucking meat tenderizer?
Bro, if we do, where the fuck would it be? I
In the
don't know.
utensil drawer.
Which one? I don't know. Bro, I am kitchen illiterate.
print one, motherfucker. Go print one.
now? Is this kind of like
Bad idea,
having-
man. I already designed it in
That
my
is
head.
going to be the future, by the way. All joking aside,
You
you're
don't
going
have
to
it,
just go
it.
print
Well,
some
that's
shit.
a good idea. Yeah,
It's definitely gonna be-
when they get quick enough.
RFK is not going to be feeling all that plastic in your chicken.
Is this the same
He's
as
not going to be feeling
having
much of anything soon.
Alfredo and egg noodles?
Oh, dude, don't get me fucking started. This motherfucker, dude. I had dinner with some buddies last night. This motherfucker was like, who doesn't ever cook, was like, when we get together, he was like, I'll cook. Don't worry about it. I got it, guys. Like, I was like, all right. And in my head, I was like, all right. I was like, the dude who never cooks it's usually either going to go one way or the other, right? It's some extravagant ass shit that you're like, damn, didn't know you had it in you. Or it's like, this is
why you don't
exactly
cook.
what I expected. So he sent me a text message and he was like, hey, tonight, because he knows I'm a picky eater. Not really, but we go with it, right? Because
Lowercase p.
the narrative. So it said like Alfredo sausage, shrimp.
Okay.
Sound good? And I was like,
Yeah.
perfect. And I'm actually getting excited.
Yeah.
So anyway, we get over there, and a buddy of mine is like, I don't know if you can go for this, man. And I was like, nah, of course I'm going to go. It's Alfredo side. Like I think it's I was always raised that it was weird to eat that for dinner. Like that's, it's like, it's a guinea thing. Like you're supposed to, I'm telling you, like,
That's
like,
not what Olive Garden taught me.
So on my mother's side of the family, it was always taught to me that like it's Alfredo, like fettuccine Alfredo, like a side is a side dish.
It's so rich. It's not the full meal.
It's not. You're not intended to have a
So
fucking
Maggiano's is not crazy because when you go buy pasta at Maggiano's, they give you a side of pasta, which is crazy to me. But
No, because that's why they're not 900 pounds. It's us that's like
no,
oh,
but
we
it's
need to have
a
double
meal with a
helping
side of a meal.
Yeah, but it's like a smaller portion. Like it'll be like you have like a veal, and you'd have a side of.
Oh, okay, but not like spaghetti with
No,
the side of
no,
Alfredo.
No.
Because that's what Maggiano's. If you order
But
spaghetti, they just have Alfredo.
Maggiano's is good though.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is good.
But anyway, long story short, so I walk up to the fucking counter. It's an Italian meal, right? Mm-hmm. It's fucking French bread. It's fucking egg and noodles.
Not fettuccine.
Nope. Chinese fucking style egg noodles. Fucking ragu cream
Tan
sauce. And you got 2 different types of ragu cream sauce. And you know what
He's gonna mix together.
You know what that
Oh
tells
my
me?
God.
You know what that tells? This is his go-to. He's
This is his recipe.
mastered this ratio of this 2-to-1, and then and I think that
One's garlic and the
Oh.
other's Parmesan.
and then shrimp that haven't been deveined.
Oh no.
Now, any one of these things, the ragu is out. Period. Actually, no.
I'm not
fucking-
bougie, man.
Yeah,
I would eat that other than the not non-deveined shrimp because that's just poop.
no, you
yeah.
can get jar Alfredo.
Yeah, I'm good with jar Alfredo.
I'm just
It's
not
just ragu is the bottom
I'll
of
eat it.
the
Yeah,
list.
it's like
I-
when
I-
you
If you grow up eating that, that's all you know.
Yeah, I don't mind eating it.
But
I'm
anyway,
not
this
gonna say it's
motherfucker
good.
makes a lot of money.
A lot.
A lot of money. And sometimes I'll tell you, he has the nerve to brag me about sometimes about how much money he makes. I'm never going to hear it again. The only reason why I'm going to say he's got so much money now is because he buys bullshit to eat at home.
Yeah.
So anyway,
he should have
dollar more,
catered.
motherfucker.
He has
Anyway.
money. He should have catered.
I couldn't believe it. And as soon as I started going, he just like sunk his head into it and like he knew it was coming. You know, like and I fucking was on his ass, so to speak, all fucking night, so to speak.
I mean, I would definitely eat that meal. It sounds fine to me, but it's definitely not what he presented. To me, it's a mismatch of expectations versus reality.
Yeah.
For $2 more, he could have made it legit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. I eat
For
fucking
$10 more, he could have made it bomb.
half my fucking calories come in the form of powder, so that sounds just fine to me.
Well, the thing you have to keep in mind is that was an Italian meal, not an Italian.
I love French bread. I would eat it with Chinese food. I don't give a
quite a
fuck.
So
difference.
I love French bread too. But my thing is like,
But it's not what was presented to you.
it's the sum of its parts.
You want the never-ending breadsticks. Is what you want.
If he had fettuccine Alfredo and he bought like a decent Alfredo sauce, right, like a Rayo's or something, like a Alfredo sauce, and then he had like some fucking box fettuccine, just box, not like the fresh fettuccine that you get in the different spot. You know what I mean? Where you
Not
get
the one in the freezer.
Not that one.
Yeah.
You get the one that you just get on the
mean, even
fucking
I know.
aisle shelf, right?
Yeah.
If he just had that with some Rayo sauce and then the French bread, wouldn't hear a fucking peep out of me. Oh, and then let me tell you what he did to the French bread to fucking doctor it up. Cut it up into slices, put butter on it. Then he opened up the fridge to see what he had available to put on top. He wanted to put cheese on top. You know, the only kind he had available? Sliced. No, wait.
American?
I'm sorry. No, not sliced. Shredded cheddar.
I would eat it, but I would
It's
not
the sum
serve
of its
it.
parts. It's the sum of its parts thing.
Italian. I'm telling you, man. So I watched the astronauts crash land into the ocean in their little bubble. So the astronauts that were stranded, they weren't fucking stranded. They were having the time of their life for 9 months. Anyways, they all came back, and
That is fucking awesome, though.
I mean, you
Unlike
got
the guys from what he was watching that did not make it.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fucking, it is fucking like
9
amazing.
months. So
like that, like these guys were rescued. Like when I saw
Well,
like the door,
it's not a rescue. That's a misinterpretation of what. Are we talking about the same thing?
maybe I'm talking about the people that were lost in space for 9 months.
They weren't lost in space. They were on the ISS with like 12 other people. They weren't.
They didn't have a way to get them back, so they had to go send something to go get them. Like that's by definition a rescue.
Okay, sure.
Like when they opened,
They had to wait for the next flight.
I saw what it was.
I got rescued from an airport.
They were
once.
stuck in fucking Atlanta.
It's not the same.
They were well. Okay.
I saw the video footage of the door opening and like just how fucking happy they were and like my fucking heart like.
Well,
Like,
then
just
they
to
found out
imagine-
who won the presidency. They're like, God damn it! Send us back."
maybe I like, and that's the thing is like sometimes I think sometimes everything right now gets so politicized that we can't take one thing in a vacuum and be like, isn't this fucking awesome that these fucking people got home?
No, it is. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying those. You say rescue to me. It gives the indication that someone was in peril.
Like Gravity in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like that other awful movie called ISS where Russia goes to war with the United States and then they end up fighting in the space station. Anyways,
I thought you meant just the ISIS movies.
those were fun too.
Did they have movies?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
the
on
beheading movie.
It was on Bloody.
Oh,
It was I watched one of those one time and never again. Holy shit. Anyways,
Pretty well shot.
where no they weren't. They had to
Practical
down-
effects.
I had to download it on Napster. So now it would just be a VFX of it. Anyways, it's always interesting watching any space-related media because they have someone from SpaceX and someone from NASA, and their vibes don't always match up. SpaceX is kind of like, hey, bro, we got rockets and shit, and NASA's very technical, and we're going to talk about the SRBs and the 15-second delay between the release.
Yeah,
I went to space camp, by the way, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I did go to space camp.
The vehicle.
Yes, the vehicle.
That's what they always
The vehicle.
refer to it.
But it was they had drones and stuff recording, honestly the first time I've seen one where they have all the footage of it, literally everything happening, and there's a special boat that hoists up the pod and puts it on there, and that's how they get them off. But immediately they have all these speedboats that come out. You can see them in the distance just hauling ass with this giant ship behind it hauling ass, and they get there and they're like had some sort of device on a stick, like I guess checking radiation. I'm like, y'all check to make sure they ain't got no fucking space spores. That's why y'all land in this salt water to try to wash off whatever the fuck's up there.
I think I saw this at the end of Pacific Rim. Yes.
Yeah, it sounds about
It's
right.
the exact same scene.
I
I
know.
watched a porno called Pacific Rim once.
Ooh.
I thought it was specific rims. It sounds like a good job for you. So, we mentioned this, kind of been a topic of conversation, and I've raved about their product since I got one last year. Bamboo has their new
I'm excited.
H2D printer out. That is a dual head filament printer. It has two, so you can swap colors and materials willy-nilly. And it also has a laser attachment that you can laser on curved surfaces.
And scanner too, doesn't it?
I didn't see a scanner.
Yeah, so it scans.
Yeah, image scanner.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
then-
didn't even
and-
catch
When they're
that.
talking about making the shoe,
Yeah.
it says
Okay.
it'll scan the outline to make sure that what it makes is what you want.
I got you. Okay. Well, there's a lot of technology in there that's brand new, so I'm going to let it rest because the laser option, like you're creating a potential thermal event in a situation where you wouldn't before.
Understand.
But
And
you already
like-
have like a Chinese laser in your
Well,
house.
I have like the most dangerous laser in the history of the world. in my house. It is called a Chinese black and red 80-watt laser is what it's called.
They just add the black in there to make it sound better. It's just
Yeah.
the red Chinese lasers.
But
The red bloody
I'm
red
definitely-
scare.
they must have sent out 100 previews to YouTubers because like the moment at 10 a.m. yesterday morning, there was I just put Bamboo into YouTube, and I mean there was maybe like 20 videos, and more have come out since then. But nobody's really showing the laser. Like somebody cut something, and he has a ventilation system which is not included, right? So somebody's going to set this motherfucker in their office and is like, oh, I can laser in the PLA is going to smell. Oh man,
Yeah, it's plastic.
It said it had a smoke purifier built in.
Yep,
Yeah, but it only
does.
works so well. Like I have a carbon filter for my paint booth. It works for 5 minutes before you saturate that bitch.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
Oh, you don't trust the companies?
Well,
with their-
so much so that
advertisements?
I had my attic work on last week. I actually had them drill a hole in the side of my house, and I ran a vent pipe from my basement
Yeah, you
paint
did.
booth outside.
oh nice. So you
yeah,
just
so
paint the
yeah,
neighbor's
I can paint stuff
yard.
in there that directly.
That's a
ventilates
good. That's a
outside.
good idea.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah.
to pay someone to drill a hole inside of your house wasn't as much as much as I
expensive
thought it
as
was
you
going to be.
You
So-
have to pay more for them to be licensed and bonded.
They are licensed by Home Depot.
There you go.
You just pick them up. They just come.
What, you just pick them up in the parking lot?
Yeah,
They
I mean, it
cost
worked.
more if they have their
Obviously,
own ride.
there's full service. Home Depot, you go buy the materials and you pick up the work.
They're a little reluctant to get into a
Yeah.
van right now. So
Yeah, for sure.
better be a sedan. You
Anybody want ice in their
I had my Vanilla Ice concert tour jacket on. Those motherfuckers ran. So I'm on a pattern hold on this. First of all, it's $3,000 to buy the one with the laser, which I don't have a reason to buy another laser.
Because you have a better laser.
I have a better laser. It just can't do the curved stuff quite as well. Either way, I have a very busy summer coming up. Well, actually, from here on out, a lot of events actually. So
So it's just going to be Bobby and Pharaoh.
well, no, it's
For a
almost
few months.
it's almost
I've
always
got 2 weeks.
Oh
where
yeah,
I'll be-
this is gonna be me.
it's all.
A
One-man show.
There you
Just
go.
like your man Bill Burr.
Jerk off POV.
On some of those we could probably just do Monday or Tuesday and it'd work out fine.
This is all weekend stuff mostly. So, AEW's coming to town in Baltimore in I think the first weekend, a couple weeks actually. So I'm going to that, and I'm actually going to go to the pay-per-view in Philly the Sunday before. I
Nice,
have a connection that's going to hook me up.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. I'm going to the Baby Metal concert
Oh, baby metal. Japanese girls. Metal.
because my wife has fallen in love with this band called Bloodywood, which is an Indian death metal band that's opening for them.
Indian.
Yep. No, we're talking about the
This
country.
one.
The country. Yep. Joey was asking me about
Let's go. It's good. It's good.
bird parts. So bird parts.
The bloody wood.
Bloody wood.
Let me put it on.
Don't Google it.
No.
No. It's
I'll
fine.
Google it.
Bloody wood. There's 2 other opening acts that I looked into. Black Veil Brides, which is
yeah.
it sound pretty good, and then another one called it's Ginger, spelled Jinjer, and I don't feel right spelling that for some reason, but it's basically screaming from the beginning to the end of the song. Yeah.
Comes right up. No bloody
Stumps.
Yeah.
phallic things.
So Kelly and I are going to, I might have mentioned this, MetLife Stadium in Jersey, right outside New York, to see Manchester United play
yeah,
a
it's a
football
soccer.
game. There's actually 2 games that day, and it's in July. And she asked me if I wanted a jersey, and I really want a black jersey, but it's in July.
Hot as
So I'm like, give me a white jersey.
Dude, these motherfuckers in this metal band got Congos.
Bro, that shit goes hard, man.
Some slam Congos.
I know Bobby will be super into this. I'm going to see Yellow Wolf this summer.
Are you really?
He's playing at a club in Harrisburg.
No shit.
Virginia.
Yep. So
Harrisburg, Virginia.
That's where the
Live
school
XL is the club.
Oh.
Harrisburg is the capital of Pennsylvania.
Harrisburg is where VTech is, isn't it?
What's VTech?
Am I thinking it was somewhere else? Virginia Tech.
You said
Oh, I don't
Virginia,
know.
and you said capital of Pennsylvania.
No, it's Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Harrisburg.
That's where I
I'm
was-
sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, PA. It's like an hour and a half from here. And then, of course, we're going to BotCon. So I watched a bunch of stuff. I watched, speaking of my 2 favorite actors in the world, I watched Ocean's 13.
Oh, same
It was
guys.
It was on. They actually were doing the whole marathon, but I caught that one. I watched a lot of Bar Rescue.
Did they put 9 in there too? Oh, what?
Eight is the one with Sandra Bullock.
Did you watch that one?
I've
was
seen
it
it
part of?
before.
Was it part of this
It actually
of the marathon, or they cut it out?
No, it was not part of the
8 has Sandra Bullock. What?
They made an Ocean's 8 that's an all female cast.
I
Sandra,
wonder why I never heard of that one.
it also came out in February or March of 2020, so that's probably why you never heard of it. But actually,
I think it might be the other reason.
okay, that's also fine. I watched it. It definitely won't go on
Strong
repeat.
female leads.
I'm pretty sure Aquafina's in it, so Bobby's all about it.
Awful.
I've been watching a lot of Bar Rescue. That show, as some of you may know, holds a tender spot in my heart because it saved my wife's life one time when she was going to take a nap and was watching Bar Rescue that kept her up and she started bleeding and didn't die in the bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I didn't associate the show.
Yeah, well, so
But yeah, no,
I say that jokingly.
Right, of
I mean,
course.
it's very formulaic, right? You know, this coming, he's going to yell at the guy, this and that. I actually got to see one of the 2 episodes where he tells the people to fuck off and he doesn't fix their bar.
Nice.
So
Nice.
But they do this.
Taffer?
John Taffer. They use this system called, I think it's called Partender. Basically, they weigh your liquor and then you ring shit up for 2 days and they measure again and you say, oh, you've been losing $6,000 a week because you're
spillage.
overpouring and spillage. I have a theory. It might be a conspiracy theory. So Bobby's ready.
Hopefully it's your only one.
That Bar Rescue is a government front to shut down money laundering.
All right, let's hear your explanation.
Because in almost every case there seems to be money laundering going on,
like, where's this money coming from?
overpouring or things of that nature. I don't know. I just a wild theory that came to me. Common Side Effects animated show. It's on Max about the magic mushrooms.
Oh, really? It's an anime show? you said?
It's
we talked about it
animated.
last-
Oh, animated.
It's actually Mike Judge and Greg
Oh,
Daniels.
I have heard about this.
Yeah, because I've talked about it
That's
twice
fine.
so far. Yeah.
That's fine.
Anyways,
Talk to a lot of people.
new episode came out Sunday. Watch that. I just need to watch the series finale and The Expanse, and I'm done with my latest
Your
run.
8th watch through.
Yep. God
I
damn.
mean, I got to start my second.
Me too. We can start together. We'll do the episode by episode thing.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it here.
Drummer
Hey,
is
Bobby.
such a fucking badass.
She's
Calm
awesome.
down for there, Bobby.
The show's
Get off
getting-
that rope.
this show's getting expansive.
Kamina Drummer. What else did I watch?
Kamina later.
I watched
Captain now.
I watched a series. I watched the whole thing one night because it's like 10, 20-minute episodes. It's called Deli Boys. It's on Hulu.
I've seen that.
It's about these.
Reviews for that.
It's a Pakistani
Okay.
family that owns
Not like, but also a deli. But like meat cutting?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I
they're
get it.
the premise is their dad. It's these 2 boys. One of them has gone and gotten his MBA, and the other one is a
Basketball?
stoner that has a shaman and all this shit. Well, daddy dies, and he owned a chain of convenience stores. Come to find out, it was a cocaine front, and they didn't know. But now they're in this world, and like their favorite auntie, as they call her, basically is the mob boss, and she's shooting people in the face, and it's really entertaining. It's a little campy, but it was a good watch, and pretty sure they'll have a season 2 the way they blew something up the very last episode.
I don't know why, but just you saying auntie made me think about the one scene in Coming to America 2 that's worth watching, which is like that like party scene with all the dancing and everything, and that one person comes in that looks like kind of like voodoo-esque, like bunch of leaves
pots in
and
Jamaica.
shit, and like a staff with I don't know, with skulls and shit hanging off it, like and like all the shaking around it. And then when it finished, I think it was Wesley Snipes who was like, "Whose auntie is this?"
Wesley Pipes.
So
Dude, I love that dude, man.
who?
Wesley Pipes.
I do too. He's
You
one of my
familiar?
heroes. Well, I mean, making a joke from Half Baked.
Oh, so
He's
he's
one of their bongs.
he's a porn star. So so this dude, if you've ever had the
Back
pleasure,
to the porn.
so he's funny as shit. Like he talks.
I don't want to hear all that shit. I don't want to hear you.
don't wanna hear the man-
No, I don't
no.
want to hear you getting after it.
So
Talking
I
shit.
never watch his scenes for masturbation. I only watch it for the
Comedy?
for the lulls.
For the craft.
Yeah,
Oh, it's like reading the articles of Penthouse.
yeah. So like one time.
There's good writing in there.
All right, I got a few committed to memory, so I'm going to break them down to you.
I can't believe this happened to me.
Here's one. Yeah, tongue kissed that thing. Yeah, you French kissing it like you from Italy somewhere.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That's
The fact you have a committed to
Hold on,
memory is
I have
disturbing.
more.
It's
Oh, yeah,
disturbing.
yeah. Wrap my balls around it. You know what that's called? That's the dick dog. Enjoy that dick dog.
Can I hear one more?
Yeah. Yeah. Look at because he's like, yeah. Look at you. You ain't got no type of table manners.
That's fucking ridiculous.
He's great. I'm a huge fan, so to speak.
Poor girls.
I'm going to transfer the energy
Yeah,
over
you,
now.
you see these hurricanes I got on representing the game. All of these things, I swear to
what
God,
about
have
dudes?
happened.
What about dudes keeping their sneakers on?
Do you
their
think
porno?
you think it writes these ahead of time, or you think it's spontaneous?
I think it's off the cuff. So
If they're steel toe, it only makes sense. Safety first.
sure, OSHA and such.
But what if they're Yeezys? They're butt naked except Yeezys on.
Fun fact: my wife feels very much a way about me keeping my socks on during sex. Like she will stop operations until my socks are off.
Oh wow!
Why is it so important?
I don't know. I don't know if she thinks because maybe I look ridiculous with them all. That's fair.
Maybe she thinks your socks are dirty.
Maybe, but
I'll ask her.
Okay, let's
Hey, Laura.
get to the bottom of it.
We got to
so to
solve
speak.
a problem.
Yeah.
So, Daredevil dropped 2 episodes this week. I was not
That's a
expecting
random amount of episodes they're dropping.
because they've been doing singles and now they're doing.
No, they had a
do
triple.
two.
Didn't they do a triple?
Did they do
What?
two?
Was the first one a triple?
Maybe they did. No, they did 2, 1, and now we're at 2 again.
Yeah,
And
It's the beginning of a pattern.
it kind of threw. So
it's conspiracy.
so Mason goes to bed pretty early because he
I
gets
saw
up
the one. I saw the one that published between now and the last show that we did. Would had introduced Punisher into it.
yeah. Okay.
But I have not seen any further. Let me.
So-
see. I like that episode though.
Right. So these 2 episodes, the first one it's a self-contained story that I think it does tie into everything, but basically it's a bank robbery that he literally stumbles upon. Blind guy stumbles, get it. And
I don't get it.
here's a spoiler for those of you that saw Miss Marvel, the TV show. The dad from Miss Marvel is a character in the show and mentions Miss Marvel about 150 times. It's kind of a gag. So
I don't think it's funny.
guess we're gonna tie some shit together.
Ugh.
The next episode,
Yeah, I'm already turned off by that.
Exactly.
the next episode, we're back to business with, and it is shot beautifully because it'll show what Matt's doing and then what Fisk is doing, and they're doing the same thing.
That's cool.
The way it's shot, and then we meet Muse. Fuck, dude. Like I'm getting chills talking about it because the way they present this guy,
News.
Muse, the bad guy.
Like the band?
From Marvel Comics, you don't know about Muse from Marvel Comics.
that's-
Bobby,
that's-
are you fucking serious?
let me-
Phil, get over here
Yeah,
right
really,
now.
really. Let
and
me
lay
Google.
this
Let
down.
me Google him.
So Muse is going to be the big villain here.
MEW.
MEMUSE.
Mew?
So
Like a fucking cat.
so his gimmick
I get
is Bobby. You'll appreciate Muse.
Oh, I did see him.
Okay, Muse is an artist, but he paints with human blood. And
Blood
he
artist.
takes people to his
That's a good
lair
magic
and
card.
drains their blood, and the art is in that. And then I don't know, we didn't get to hear him talk at all, but there is a confrontation. We get the suit back on finally, and Kingpin's doing
Where's my
Kingpin
super suit?
shit.
What does Eminem say about once it dries and you wash it a few times?
And Bloodstain turns orange after you wash it a few times, but that's normal, isn't it, Norman? Yeah. Serial killer. Okay. And then
I've never seen him before the show.
Well, I had heard of him. Truth.
You heard the name, now meet the man.
I watched once it came out, he was in it. I knew he was, and I watched a Who's Muse video on YouTube. So just to get the vibe.
It's a Pokemon.
And then the last
Yes,
thing I
that
want to
too.
mention, which hopefully you're caught up, Bobby. I watched all of White Lotus season 3. That's out.
I did too.
Holy shit! What the fuck? What the? I mean, let's go to Bangkok first. And
I'm down.
You didn't mention that was Matt Rockwell, Sam
Yeah,
Rockwell.
'cause I
who's
don't know
a
what that
pretty- He's a
means.
pretty well known actor.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's the guy that Bobby
believe that.
was describing last week.
You're the perfect guy
All
for
the memes
faceless prophets. You don't give a fuck about people's faces. I love
all
it.
the memes I've been sending with that guy sitting
Yes,
there. It
yeah.
says when you have a gap in your resume and all
Yeah,
that.
because he was talking about becoming like
I want to be
the lady boy.
the lady boy. I want to be the lady or whatever. And then what happens with the brothers?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude! Like,
So I knew there
my
was.
heart just races while I watch this show because there's so much fucking tension between fucking Draco Malfoy, Draco's daddy or whatever. Fucking, he's the dad.
So that's the dad that's like suicidal.
Yeah.
That's my favorite story arc.
Yeah. So
in
you
it.
know who that is? You recognize him? That's what the
I
dude.
don't really do well at
Harry
this.
Potter, you familiar? Wizards,
Yeah.
wands,
Yes.
the bad guy that's got the long silver hair.
Snoop.
That's black hair. I don't even watch Harry Potter. I know that.
No,
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Sneed.
the one that leads House Slytherin.
Isn't that Snape?
Snape.
Isn't it
It's
Snape?
not fucking Snape. That's what's his name from Die Hard.
Isn't it
Hans?
God damn
Hans
it.
from Die Hard.
No,
the guy with the guy with the black hair?
not black hair.
Who's that guy I'm thinking of?
That's Snape. I don't even like Harry Potter. You got me yelling about it.
Isn't he the head of House Slytherin?
It sounds about
hang
right.
on,
I
I'm
don't
getting
know Harry
there.
Potter, but it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Professor Snape.
That's
Professor
Snape.
Professor Snape.
Snape.
This dude.
Severus
That's
Snape.
not the
Him.
head of Slytherin.
This dude. That's who the fuck the actor is with the gun. Jesus
You don't know
Christ.
shit about
These
Harry
two aren't
Potter,
the same
dude.
person.
I swear to God, y'all are fucking. Next thing you
Pop
know,
up faceless, bro. I'm telling you.
Martin Short's gonna pop up in a minute.
Oh
Anyways,
no!
that's
He's
that,
popping on our chat.
That shit is so funny.
that's that White Lotus is hung in my mind. Like I cannot wait for Sunday night. Like
Dude, and did you know that Gemstones is back?
Righteous
I
Gemstones.
did see. I think it's the final season. I haven't started.
It's got
yet.
3 episodes or some shit already out.
Different though.
What do you mean? I mean, I hope so. I don't want to watch the same show twice.
So apparently it's at least the first couple episodes. It was all over my whatever Instagram that people were
Disappointed?
not disappointed, but it was serious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
So I don't know if it's like a prequel episode where they're trying to like give you.
I'm down. I love that show stuff. I mean, I think that season 3 they could have ended there, and it could have been gone down in history as a fantastic series.
People never know when to stop.
That's true. And they rarely know how to close.
Yeah. So, anyways, if
I know how to finish.
anybody listening,
I'm gonna come.
can't get a word in edgewise or long ways.
Edge to edge jokes.
Edge to edge jokes
like the cheese.
covered in the cheese and Buddy's pizza. Well, maybe we can get a sponsorship.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. They just send us pizzas like once a month or some shit,
Yeah.
bro.
Make it work. But if you've not seen White Lotus at all on Max,
Yeah, it's worth watching.
I mean, all 3 seasons are fantastic. The 2 seasons were fantastic, and 3 is lining up to be just as fucking crazy. And
I still I want 3 to.
dude, I don't know if I can
land.
take it. I mean, the tension in that show, like I just sit there with my
And that
stomach in a
music,
knot.
that music makes it more tense.
Oh.
It's like-
Boop, boop, ba, doop,
but that's it. That's it for me.
Okay.
I get to go to Atlanta this weekend, and I'll be there till Atlanta next week.
Let me see you grill.
And we're recording episode 500 this week.
We are
very
on
exciting.
Saturday. Should be good. Joey,
I'm gonna stop. I think I'm gonna stop watching real shows, real people shows, good people show, real people shows that are good. Maybe.
What?
and only watch real people shows that are bad. That's what you do anyway.
I'm so confused what you're not going to watch anymore. So it's
I'm gonna start watching what Bobby watches.
Oh, documentaries and fucking
Less-
specific
No, I love documentaries.
talking
actually.
porns.
real people movies where they're good or bad.
Yes.
Okay.
Watch Out of Paradise.
What'd you think?
It was great.
I thought it was great.
People say it's great. I haven't seen it.
This is really good.
lot of-
I mean,
lot of
a lot
tension.
of people say a lot of things are good that you don't like to watch.
That's also true.
Just like me.
My
be fair.
favorite episode is the next to last one where they're basically explaining everything. Oh,
No, I mean all of it.
tension.
The whole thing was good.
The twist on who did it was like I never saw that coming. The librarian.
Oh, you just gave it away.
Librarian
Just-
girl.
just-
There's 12 librarians, dude. What are you talking about?
Well,
For each
that-
of the
that is
12
true.
libraries, so there's no telling. They didn't give it away. It's one of 12 people. Figure it out.
So I liked it a lot,
The Paradise.
but like,
Shake them up. Shake them up.
but I think it's because of my current headspace. I shouldn't be watching things that are intense
Okay.
because I have a problem with distinguishing. I realize I have a problem with distinguishing between fiction and reality lately. Not as in I think these people are real in my TV and they're stuck in there telling me a story.
That would be terrifying.
I mean, Willy Wonka pioneered the technology in 1974.
You're like, if they're standing, their legs are disproportionately small to their bodies because it's a close-up shot of their faces, and
Who's
all their
bringing them
legs have to
food?
fit in the bottom of
They
the.
look like the Doge dog.
Who's bringing them sustenance?
They got them in. It's all in the box.
Electricity.
I think they usually call it the magic box.
Ah.
It's just like when
They
they're
also call it the boob tube.
Yeah.
because it was used to be boobular.
Yes, and it also turns people into fucking boobs. I feel like.
Oh, you also this is where you the only place you can go to see boobs at some point.
The only thing I don't like about
Hope not.
modern
I
TVs.
mean, when we're young,
The only thing I don't like about modern TVs is the lack of domestic violence. You don't have to ever smack a TV around anymore. you
Yeah,
used to have
that's
to
true.
smack it around.
Give it a
oh,
little.
I thought you don't see enough women getting beat on TV. I thought that's what you
No,
mean.
I've got Bobby's porn suggestions for that.
Wesley Pipes.
That's right.
No, he was friendly.
It doesn't sound very well.
Yeah,
Depends on perspective.
It depends
yeah
on
there was nothing like.
It depends on the rig they're mounted on.
Yeah, you ain't got no type of table, man. Look at you. Ugh,
See, that's nice.
get nasty.
Can you watch more shows like that?
That I mean, I already do.
Dude, it's worth a watch. Check him out. He's funny.
I'm pretty sure I've probably seen him,
Has
but
seen
like
his work?
usually I watch my porn on mute mostly.
One time he's sitting his girlfriend in the back, and during it, he said, "You like that? Mississippi born, California raised." All right, continue.
Like it's like Paradise. I watched before that was what Sherlock Holmes was good, and then Expanse was great. But I've been watching a lot of real TV, like real people.
Yes, live action.
Or
And-
Uh,
reality?
No, live action. Because he's saying as opposed to animated.
because I watch a lot of anime.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, I've been watching a lot of live action stuff that are on the more serious end, and they're great. And I see them as great because they compel me, obviously. But like to me nowadays, because of my mind space, everything just seems like a rage bait to me. I'm like, is this good or is this just making me mad? Therefore, I equate that with being good because it's an eliciting an emotional reaction out of me. You know, because like we do say that, right? If something can elicit an emotion out of you, usually it says something about the piece of media. But if all I get is angry all the time, it's like, are you just formulaically making me mad?
It is
or are
hard
you
to
good?
say. It's hard for me to have a comment on it because I haven't seen any of the things you've watched.
Right.
You know, so I have like no point of view on it.
Yeah.
Without having seen it, like, because I think sometimes things that make you mad are done well, you know. But I think that most things that I find enjoyable is not because it makes me mad. That would be almost a more like that would be a lower emotion. It's an easier emotion. It's a less complex emotion. It's a like a mammal brain emotion.
Yeah.
Right.
Or base.
Yeah. So like so that doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing a good job. It means that they're appealing to the lowest form of fucking
Right, it's the
entertainment.
easiest one.
Correct.
Right. Well, which is like I don't go.
Well,
I don't
it's the same
use my
thing as
feet
like
for
anything that's like pure titillation.
that. like Rusty Pipes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's
But
like, and I
you
think
say
that's
easy,
even,
but you-
and I think yeah, but so I find the nuance in that. But I think that like But I think that like porn in general, right? Like that goes to like almost like the reptile brain.
Yes,
Right, right.
100.
So, like-
you turn into like a reptile when you're just watching it. Like my whole personality changes when I'm watching it.
Yeah.
It's one of the things when watching I can be in the mood for gratuitous sex or violence, right? But you can't tell me that like this is like high level thought,
Right.
If you're going to include gratuitous violence and nudity and sex,
Right.
Yeah.
There's a difference between Expendables and Interstellar.
Because it sounds
the cheap
easy.
way.
Yeah, it's cheap. But to be fair, I think these things I've been watching are good, regardless of it making me mad.
Two things can be true.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that like if you're watching entertainment, I mean not you necessarily, but if one is watching entertainment and that entertainment is upsetting them, like making them angry, and that's I guess it depends on if that's the goal too.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. I think it's a me thing, but I can't. I have a hard time a lot of times when I'm not perfectly balanced of telling whether something is a me problem or is an actual problem.
Right. That's where I had to say like I wish I knew some of this material, but I don't watch any of it.
But I mean,
I try not to watch anything,
because I
honestly.
like not that I like I said, again. I'm not saying that these people are real people, but I have a hard time distinguishing fiction and reality in the fact that these
That the consequences ultimately don't matter. That what goes on in this story really doesn't matter because none of it's real.
Right.
You.
I realize that.
You realize that, but you're having an emotional response as if it is real. Well, not the country.
In that.
They've got their own problems.
Are they rage baiting too? Is that what's going on? No, but in that I relate these characters and situations and state of these worlds to our real one, and it makes me angry.
Well, do you think that that's in there? Do you think the DNA for that is in there?
I don't know.
Or do you think that you're projecting it?
I don't know if it's. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that's a valid question, right? Because like if it's in there, then that would mean they are rage baiting you, and that would mean that they are playing to like some of your lowest form emotions. But if it's
reality,
it's
though,
you
right?
projecting it onto it, then that's something with you and not with it. It really shifts responsibility.
Well, if you're going to look at a piece of media, like traditional media with protagonists and antagonists, right? There'll always be an antagonist, right? There's always a quote unquote bad guy, right? So it's not like they're specifically
But that bad guy doesn't have to be a person, right? It could be like
a computer.
air pollution
or a tornado.
like Happy Feet. Like the villain is pollution.
Was it pollution or was it people? Because pollution comes from people.
Yeah, but the people are never villainized like the pollution is. Like right, it's like basic things, right? Like man versus machine, man versus environment, man versus man versus himself.
Well,
like
so it's the man versus man is a problem, right?
yes, but what I'm saying is man versus environment is a thing too. So like if the villain could be an avalanche in a movie, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that could be the antagonist of the movie.
But if you're watching drama, mostly it's about interaction, about the drama of people.
Mostly, but like you take like the movie Survivor or whatever, where that airplane crash with the soccer players.
Oh
in
yeah,
it.
and they have to eat each other.
Yeah, but like the crash itself is man versus environment. It's
Yes.
them having to, you know what I mean?
Yes,
So
yes,
like
yeah.
the environment is like the villain, for lack of a better term.
Yes. But yeah, I think these things are good, and I enjoy them when I watch them. But like, I think I just get too in my own head about it. But, I mean, like for The Expanse, for example, right? With the cultural, it's not quite racism, but space racism, but like that kind of thing, and the warmongering, and like different types of political factions and people in that show is
you're mad
directly
about
reflected to like real life humans.
You're mad about the human element.
Yes, like anytime I see the villains and or factions of people, or just
Do you think that? But that's
I
probably
think they
done on
exist.
purpose, right?
They really do.
No, I don't think so. I think they're
I'm
So you're
reading
projecting
differently.
it.
I'm projecting it.
no. I think he's picking out the parts that are similar to the world, our actual
Yes, our
world,
actual world. Yes.
that is upsetting to him in general.
Yes.
And he's focusing on those parts, but those are just the parts in there to make it relatable to
Yes.
us.
Yeah. The show is good, in conjunction with those
it's
things.
more of just a, identifying, or not really identifying, you've already identified it, but like finding a way to cope with
The injustices of the
parts,
world.
the parts of our world
Yeah.
that upset you,
Yeah.
and then not focus on them in every time they pop up, which
Yeah.
they're going to pop up because it's human.
Yeah. Part of
behavior.
good human drama is that because that's part of human
I mean,
nature.
it's just natural human behavior.
Exactly,
to be
which
in
I don't
groups
like.
That have to be against somebody and with somebody else.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah. So like I've come to the conclusion it's obviously a me problem, and so I watched after Paradise. I went back to catch up on Reincarnated as a Slime. It's an anime.
Okay.
Felt great. Had a good time.
Okay.
I think that's part of why I enjoy anime, because it's, this show is also deal with geopolitical stuff. It sounds silly, but it's like more hopeful, I think. It has a lot of these elements I'm talking about, and also because that it's a cartoon, right? And it is over the top, that like I don't have to engage as much of my brain in reality as is in this fictional world. Because it's so detached.
It's hard for me to have any
Yeah.
sort of relating
Yeah.
to it, because I'm certainly
me
never
just-
watching that.
No,
and
no.
I didn't
Not that-
like The Expanse, and
Can you tell me a little bit about why you?
I mean, so honestly, I didn't find any of the characters interesting. I thought they were all boring characters. I gave it 3 episodes, and I found all the characters to be sort of a dull, drab bore, and I checked out. I thought the world was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought conceptually the world was cool. Just couldn't get into the characters.
I pushed through the first couple of episodes because I thought the world was cool.
See,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then the characters
don't have
became
that.
interesting after that.
It
Yeah,
had that,
See, I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't, because you know what it is.
It's really-
you know what I don't want to watch television.
Yeah.
I don't
I-
want
right.
to. So for you to make me watch television, you better make it fucking good.
Yeah, and the only reason I pushed through it was because Pinkerton.
Pinkerton. Yeah.
but it became good though.
The only
did
reason
become
why
good.
the only reason why I watched it at all was because of Pinkerton.
Right, but I'm saying like I pushed
And the only reason you
through-
watch it was me. Everyone forgets that.
The only reason I pushed through is because I didn't want to be like I gave it 3 episodes and hated it because he liked it so much. I was like, I'll give it a full season before I.
Yeah. No. Nobody.
I was the one who started.
Oh, you put Pinkerton.
I put Pinkerton on.
Yeah. No, I believe that. I definitely believe that.
But then he became a super fan.
Yeah. Uber.
And I caught up 4 years later.
Yeah.
Maybe the super fan.
Yeah. Arguably so.
He might be the president of the fan club and we just don't know about it.
You know, but
Sure,
I
he'll tell
have
us.
I really struggle with the television.
Yeah.
Man, because
I mean,
like,
it's just not a thing that you enjoy.
Yeah,
Which is fine.
so like I mean, like, because my wife doesn't enjoy television. She enjoys the idea of enjoying television. So she gives it's like an abusive relationship with her. Like she keeps going back to it. Like, let's watch a show. And she's like, oh, tonight, what do you want to watch? And I'd be like, what do you think is worth watching? And then she'll name something and I'll be like, do you? Do you think that's worth watching? And she's like, probably not, but it's just good to lay down and put something on. Like yes, like I understand the intent, right? Cuddle up, snuggle up, watch something together. I get it. But I also want that thing to be worth watching, worth spending my time doing.
What about the Yuletide logs?
Yes, because otherwise, honestly, I'd rather work on a photo album or listen to music or fucking do something else that I enjoy. But
Yeah, I like watching. I mean, I think in general love stories. So
yeah.
because I listen like if I'm in the car, I will listen to creepypastas. Whatever. I'm like I just like stories.
I just put asterisks in. I like good stories.
I like interesting. I wouldn't say everything I like is considered mainstream good.
Me neither.
But
It doesn't have to be mainstream good. It just has to be fucking compelling.
I just find them interesting.
And I find so much shit today just very, very forgettable
Yeah.
and drab.
different. I think it's probably a taste thing
Yeah, I mean,
because like you like ketchup on steak and like most people
actually, it's fading.
your liking of ketchup
Period. Yeah.
or liking of steak.
No. It's. I think it's like one of those like your taste buds change every 7 years. Ketchup is starting to taste really tangy to me in a way that it never has before.
Maybe we need to add sugar back into it.
Is it?
no, mine still has it. I know the one.
Simply?
The one. No, we don't have the Simply here.
Is it a COVID? Was it the COVID? COVID fucked you up?
No. I don't think.
Another
it's,
long
It's
COVID.
literally. I think it's two things within the last. This is just a stupid conversation. Within the last year, I have. Within the last year, I have noticed the change.
Mm-hmm.
Within the last year, my family has been eating more homemade sauces with everything. And I think those two things.
That's why you shit on ragu.
Well, that's not the only bloody reason. I'll tell you.
It's because ragu shit.
Yeah,
Right.
but Anyway,
But like, no. It's like because I feel like you used to like TV or watching stuff more before, and like your taste just changed. It's a subjective thing.
so I don't think my taste have changed. I think the quality has changed. See, that's been my argument with this whole thing is that like back when there was 100 things being, and I'm using numbers arbitrarily.
Yep.
Back when there was 100 things being made, I maybe liked 50% of it. And now there's 2,000 things being made, but I still only like 50 things. So now
Percentages.
So now my
harder to
perception of it all is just that so much of it is garbage. Is but everybody's got the hot ticket. Everybody's got the have you seen such and
Wesley
such?
Pipes?
Well, that one's actually worth watching. But like, have you seen such? And then I watch it and I'm like, this is more of the shit. Now every now and then I say this all the time, but every now and then I come across what I think is a true gem, like Righteous Gemstones. I think is a true gem.
White Lotus.
Remember you said you could do this long.
yes.
Is this Nosferatu again?
White Lotus to a lesser extent. I love the first. I love the first season. The first season's fantastic. Second season's good. Third season, I need to see how it lands. No,
Like Sopranos.
Manson, not Manson. Other fucking wacko. Dahmer, the Netflix show. Like, you know how I feel about Netflix. Not fucking impressed.
Yep.
But I was at Charlie's house, and he had nothing to do. I had nothing to do. We put it on. I sat there and watched the whole season from front to back in one day, which for me is
Impressive.
extremely
Yeah.
abnormal.
Yeah.
But it was that level. That
There must not have
caliber.
been much going on at Charlie's house.
There wasn't. There wasn't. To be fair, he lives a very uneventful life.
Chill life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For me, I just like interesting things, interesting ideas, interesting
too.
stories.
Me too.
So, but like I, in one part of reasons why like all creepypastas or like short stories or animes because they explore crazy out there ideas, which might or might not be palatable to the average person. But I just like to put my brain out there.
Yeah, I think if I were gonna do something to put my brain out there
Magic mushrooms.
these days, I would put it more so in a like a how the universe was made.
Yeah,
type,
I love
you know,
that.
like,
shit.
I would watch that
Those are
type
great.
of thing.
I
now.
watch those
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
But yeah, I do enjoy documentaries. I don't mention them much here, but I mean, a lot of what I watch while I'm driving is documentaries.
Yeah.
Watch while driving.
I've watched.
Easy.
I really enjoyed that one.
I buy specific adapters just so I can watch my phone while I'm driving. You know that?
What would you say, Bobby?
Watching that Pan Am one, I thoroughly
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah.
it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Best documentary I've seen in a long time.
So I think you'll really like the
Columbia one.
that one and the one that I talked about a couple episodes ago, the Malaysian flight one.
Oh yes.
Yeah, those are definitely good.
Yeah.
What do you do, Bobby?
Oh, let's see here. Not much. So I talked about Daredevil already. Talked about White Lotus already, both of which I watched. I watched Bill Burr's stand up.
Yeah,
Bill Burr?
Yeah.
but yeah, because I watched it last week. Yeah,
Right.
No, I thought you watched the. Did you watch both?
both. Yeah, I watched both.
Yeah, he
So-
watched Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. So I watched the stand up. Not my favorite. My favorite part of it though was the funeral bit.
Yes.
That was great.
Yes.
Where he was talking about like whether or not we should have like
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm spoiling it. Whether or not we should have open caskets and stuff, and it's like
And that's what I talked about. Like part of what I talked about before. But he's funny. I'm not.
That's the thing that was when he was like, I believe you. You ain't got to prove it to me, and shit. Like it's like somebody comes in there and is like, oh, he's dead, is he? He fucking better be. He owes me 8 stacks. This fucking asshole. Like. I'll open the casket. I want to see. That shit was fucking funny.
Or like you just have to sit there and act like it's that perfectly normal when your dead friend's just hanging out right there.
Yeah. And then in true Bill Burr fashion, he in between the jokes he leaves these little nuggets that stick in your mind for something to chew on. And like that.
That's the best comedians.
100%. 100%. But that thing of like, is this the lasting image I want to have of this person? Is this the not the lasting? Yes, but also the final.
Right. Remember talking about
Yeah. And
That's why Stanhope is so amazing.
Yeah, 100%. But anyway, in terms of like I much prefer I think every other one that I've seen of his recently. But
you don't like him happy.
Yeah, you
yeah,
probably
maybe.
agree.
Maybe. And he talked about that a good bit too. And it just a lot of this seemed like less funny and more philosophical. And regardless of what I think about somebody's philosophy, I tend not to like that sort of comedy, like Joe Rogan. Like when Joe Rogan,
he's not that funny to be.
But so my opinion on why he's not funny is because he sells it as comedy, but it's way more of a philosophy. He goes up there with like how you should act in life and how humans should interact with each other and what we should be focusing on and concentrating on. But it's sold as stand up, but it's actually not funny. You know,
it's just like TED Talk.
Yeah, and I think Bill Burr's thing. Yeah, I agree. And Bill Burr's thing reminded me more of a TED Talk this time than a stand up. But it was worth watching. I didn't hate it by any stretch of the imagination. I was just like, man,
did you enjoy it in general?
I think worth watching is the best way I can describe it. Like the last one I think he did was the Red Rock one. That was on Netflix. I think I saw it when I was with somebody that had Netflix.
It's a black and white.
That one. That's his best
great.
one.
Yeah, that was great.
But the Red Rock one is not his best one. Shits on this one.
Yeah, so like the big thing for me with comedy is like giving a slightly different perspective on something that's like legitimate, but in a way that it kind of comes through without being hit over the head about that subject.
Being preachy.
Right, but even I'm not even sure what the subject is until we get to it. Right?
Yeah, and this one I want to stress, like, I didn't think this one was bad at all. But there was times when I was watching it where I was like, I've gone a long time interested in what he had to say, but not laughing.
Yeah.
I watched a movie called
Favorite.
I'm not sure exactly what it's called. It was written in cursive, and there was a lot, and there was a lot of N's and M's. Enorma, perhaps. So it was a Academy Award, of course, nominated. So here's another example, right? So I've always my entire life, I have rarely known like the top 5 films that have been nominated for Picture of the Year, right? So I always use it as like, oh, sweet, like here's 5 recommendations of the best movies of the year. Let me check them out. And usually I like most of them, not all of them, but most of them. Recently, they've like if you've ever watched any like even the highlight reels and shit, it's like 10 movies now that are not 5, 10 that are in the top Pictures of the Year running. And I go to watch them,
They're terrible.
and I only like maybe one. You know, but this is another one. Like, it's fine. It starts off strong. The ending, I actually related to you a bit, where I was so unsatisfied with the level of justice in the ending, where I was like, this is a joy robbery. Because there's none of this worked out for anyone, but I think, like, I'm okay with an unhappy ending. But the unhappy ending has to feel just as thought out as the happy ending for me.
Yes.
And this felt like the writer had something, had a great couple of ideas, and then hit writer's block and didn't know how to wrap it up, to me.
Or the executive was like, I don't think that's going to fly. Change it up.
Yeah, or
And he's
maybe
like,
even
fine. They drove to the store then. And he's like, perfect.
Or maybe even worse, it was a test audience. But
I mean, like, if it's just upsetting. Sometimes, like, it's just people like they make misery porn. They just make people like it's specifically to upset you.
Yeah, it could be.
And
but
mistaking for something to be good again, it just makes you upset.
But see, I don't. But I don't get upset at the things that happened in the movie. I get upset that the people wrote this movie, and that then I get upset with myself for sitting in front of this electronic god for 2 hours while it fucking told me this story that I had ultimately no interest in hearing.
I mean, that's the catch. You can't know if you like a story till you hear the story.
Sure, but I mean, I'm just gambling nowadays, which is assuming I won't. But it's about a stripper.
Hell yeah.
Stripper. Yeah. But more importantly, she looks like a girl that'd be at a strip club.
Okay, perfect.
In like a mid-class, like a mid-tier strip club, like not
like on the block.
Above the
block.
above the block, but below like starlets. You know, so she gets mixed up with this like Russian kid who's really wealthy. He pays her as basically an escort.
then pays her to spend a week with him, then pays for her to marry him. Not pays for him, but basically falls in love with her, proposes to her. She goes for it. They get married in Vegas. Come to find out, he's like this kid who is the heir of some Russian empire company. They come over pissed. They try to get the marriage annulled. The kid is just a spoiled brat, et cetera, and then like the drama ensues and blah blah blah.
It's like shitty Pretty Woman.
Yeah,
or more, actually, maybe more realistic Pretty Woman.
yeah, maybe. But I mean, this kid's like, a young kid, and he's kind of like one thing that was funny. My favorite line in it was they're trying to explain to this woman who she's married, right? But she's still stuck under the guise that he's like this filthy rich kid,
Yeah.
And they're like, that room you've been fucking him in? That's his parents' room. His room is down the hall, the one with the spaceships on the wall. And that was a fucking great line.
We have spaceships on our walls.
So anyway, I don't recommend watching it. It wasn't good. It was fine. Let's see. And then
I enjoyed the retelling of it, though.
yeah. It was probably better. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't worth watching. Did I tell you guys about my crosswalk situation last week?
No.
Okay. So
Well, let me buckle in.
I walk my kid to school. I've debated on whether or not I should.
Which one?
Leia, my 8-year-old. There's one major street that she has to cross, which is why I walk her. But there is a cross guard there that takes care of, like, she's on the money. I've been doing this now since September. I trust her, but I do it. I think mainly because Leia doesn't have anybody to walk with. She doesn't have like any friends in the neighborhood she has one, but she doesn't walk. Her parents drop her off. But we walk if we can walk. So I walk her so she's not lonely, right? And I think she really values it. She usually has like formulated a couple questions to ask me along the way. She always starts off the same, how was your sleep? Stuff like that. And then and then she'll get into like shit like, when you were little, did you have this? Did you have like, stuff like that. So I humor her. So,
Sounds like good times.
It is. And I take the dog, right? Now, where we walk, it's across the street into a cul-de-sac, and the cul-de-sac has a crosswalk because it's part of the school walking. Like that school has a number of different avenues to get to it, and this is deemed one of the avenues. So it has a crosswalk to get to it in the cul-de-sac, which is strange. Doesn't sound like it would be strange, but next time you drive into a cul-de-sac, imagine a crosswalk going across it. It's strange.
Yeah.
But there's a crosswalk. So people drive into this cul-de-sac to drop their kids off because they don't want to drive to the school because there's a line. They can't be inconvenienced. Right? They can't even inconvenience their kid to walk to school. They got to drive their kid to school, but they don't want to be inconvenienced themselves. So they're just as fucking lazy and worthless as the goddamn kids, probably. So they pull into this cul-de-sac and they let the kids off. And I've had to do it from time to time just because of scheduling conflicts or whatever. And usually people are respectful. They wait for people to cross the crosswalk, or they pull past the crosswalk and then let their kids out, whatever. This woman,
There it is.
is parked on the crosswalk to let her
like blocking the crosswalk?
yes, to let her kids get straight out to the path, right? Because the path is right in line with the crosswalk.
Right.
And God forbid her kids walk 10 fucking feet to get to the path.
Well, that's why she drove them.
That's why she drove them. So I'm irritated.
Yep.
Then the kids get out of the car. She makes sure that they're onto the path, right? So she's watching them
While blocking the road.
with her head turned to the right while blocking the crosswalk.
Tell me she reverses.
She puts the car in drive and takes off and almost hits my dog. So I'm a little irritated that she didn't kill my dog, for one. but just because God forbid she think about anybody else but her fucking self, right? So my wife is with me, and I yank the dog back, and she's like, sorry, right? And I just I put my head down, like I don't have anything for this woman, right? So I go to walk around the front of the car, and she rolls the window down. She's like, sorry. Now it's my fucking fault that I didn't forgive you. So I said,
I'm not upset that you didn't hit my dog. I'm upset that you parked in front of the crosswalk and didn't care about anybody else. That's what I'm upset with. And just kept it moving. My wife didn't say a word.
You're not wrong.
And we walked up, dropped my kid off, blah, blah, blah. My wife's trying to change the subject immediately because she's home with me. She doesn't have to go to work. She's going to be stuck in a house with me. You know what I mean? So she's like, what do I want to tell you? Any new fun podcasts coming up? And I'm like, that motherfucking bitch. I'm losing my fucking mind. But,
I mean, that's
just lack of fucking courtesy, man. Lack of thinking about anybody but your fucking self all the fucking time.
That's my general disappointment in the world, really. My day-to-day when I'm complaining about people, it all usually boils down to that at the base, that people are just completely engrossed in themselves only.
Yeah. So my thoughts to you guys care about this type of stuff, and I do too, to a white trasher extent, probably. What do you think about this pyramid news with the cylinders under the pyramids? Anything? You heard about this? It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. I promise, swear to God.
I've heard a little bit about it.
So they've been trying, these scientists, right? Have been trying to do these scans on the pyramids, but Egypt is like, no, you're not fucking doing any of that shit. We don't.
Using LiDAR.
Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't disturb anything.
Correct.
Tell it to the Egyptians. So
Walk like an Egyptian.
good record. Good record. Good record. Is it Bengals? Is it Bengals?
Bengals?
Yeah. So anyway, they were able to do it from fucking space or some shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I know
We got
about it?
technology now.
And what they think they have found is that the pyramids are sitting on these series of 600 foot deep cylinders that go down into the earth 600 feet into these huge like structural blocks.
That's awesome. Is this for real?
Swear to God.
It's not on like fucking some tabloid.
No.
Because I used to think those were real when I was a kid.
So that I think the tests have come back and suggested this. I think they're still crunching the data, but of course the internet is going crazy with like
not even heard of it.
with like, oh, the aliens have done that, you know what I mean, and all that shit.
I'm not saying it's aliens.
Right. But the initial data suggests that there are these structures underneath the Great Pyramids and that they're all connected. Like you can get from
Between
one,
all the pyramids?
Yes.
So the Egyptians blew up Pan Am 101.
Yes. Anyway,
I have to look at it.
yeah,
I love shit like
look
that.
into it because not because of whether you think it's cool or not. I want to know what your opinion is of it. If you think there's any.
I mean, didn't they say that the Sphinxes were two different? I don't remember now. Aren't the Sphinx two different things? Like the head is much.
Oh, it was one thing, and then they added on to it.
Yeah, like the bodies was already
I think
there.
I
And it's much
remember
older than the
something about
heads.
that.
And
I think I
yeah.
remember something about that.
But then there was like a bunch of stuff that came out where they're unsure of so like something about like water runoff possibly. Because obviously it wasn't always like a fucking desert,
Yes.
right? So there's thoughts about that it had modified some things that made it look like it was older than the rest.
Because I mean, people have done weird shit like build a whole fucking city on stilts, waiting for it to sink, like Venice.
Yeah.
So,
Or Atlantis.
Yeah. There you go.
My-
Anyway, I'm curious if you look into it.
I'm definitely want to look at
I'm
it.
curious
I love shit like this.
I'm next
I love
week about
science and
about your thoughts. Anyway, one last thing, just a family story. The baby said to me the other day, she was like, I wish I could just leave my brain at school. And I was like, what do you mean?
I like Severed.
yeah, it's that TV show, right? I'm supposed to watch that
Severance.
TV show,
Yeah.
Severance.
Yeah, she was like, the baby was like, I wish I could just leave my brain at school and it could do all the learning. And then I could just stay home and have all the fun. And then I go pick up my brain from school and get all the information.
Multiplicity.
And
Naruto does that.
and then
Shut up.
And then I started laughing, right? And she was like, and then this is a quote. I ain't doing fractions, equivalent fractions. I just make my brain do that.
It's fantastic.
Technically, you are.
I mean, that's you know what I mean.
Kids are funny. Kids say the darndest thing. Oh, that's not good. We don't watch that anymore, right?
I don't know. Remember-
Is it still on?
okay, and then we have a little bit of notes. So, R.I.P. George Foreman.
God bless the dead.
You know, hey, God bless the dead. You know, and all that kind of stuff. There's a number. There's
Are there like real jokes in there?
that's the thing,
okay,
right? Is
that's-
like
how, honestly, if you asked 20 people on the street, hey, do you know who George Foreman is? Yeah. What do you know about George Foreman? It's the guy with the grill.
Let me see you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Pretty
you
good
want me to go?
Let me. But I have you ever had meat off of the George Foreman grill, so to speak?
Whoa.
Yeah. So to speak.
Yeah, we.
I used to have a.
My parents used one for years, and we had one for quite a while. It's a little messy to clean up,
It's,
but
I think it's awful.
Is it?
yeah,
Just
Yeah,
like
my
like
mom
it.
had it.
I like
thought
it.
it was awful. It was
was-
dry as fuck. Anyway, Happy Gilmore 2 trailer.
Interesting. I don't know if I need
can't
it.
stand the idea of it.
I don't think you would need it, but
I don't think we need it either.
I think
part
it's
of
gonna.
the-
I think it's gonna be like Twisters. It's gonna ruin
the legacy?
something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna connect with this generation. that
we don't have
it's
car
meant for.
weathers.
Yeah.
It's just gonna ruin something. And I mean,
we didn't have Carl Weathers by the end of the movie.
I guess it's cool that like Sandler's gonna like make some sort of cash grab out of it.
But I mean, it's part of his. Doesn't he have like 10 movie Netflix deal or some shit?
Probably.
And this is. This was probably planned all along. I'm sure.
You want to know my issue with it? I didn't laugh once during the trailer.
I think it's supposed to be serious.
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
It's just rehash the same jokes,
Yeah.
right? It's like dribble.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the nostalgic fucking cash grab.
Yep,
which,
yep, yep,
like,
yep.
I don't.
And I'll watch it because I loved Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, I did too.
And I'll watch it, and it'll ruin the first one for me. And
So
I'm
there's
mad
only
about
been
it.
there's only been one sequel, two, that have really impacted the previous films for me. It's Episode 9,
Oh yeah.
which is the mother of it, and then Boondock Saints 2. Boondock Saints 2. I haven't seen
What about Aliens?
What about it?
That didn't.
The second Aliens movie?
Yeah.
I think the second Aliens movie is amazing.
But it impacted it just in a.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me further
it
explain.
ruined
Where it ruined the previous films. Where it ruined the previous films. I haven't watched Boondock Saints since I saw the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's garbage.
I often compare it like Boondock Saints is to Top Gun what Boondock Saints 2 is to Hot Shots.
That's an interesting SAT question. Did you still have SAT questions? Did you still do that in SATs?
I don't know.
Ask Jaina. She has. Do they
she'll be taking
do
them
they
soon.
have SATs still?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the scoring is different.
It is. It's at a 2400 now.
What do you think about this documentary movie Terabytes on the history of horror video games?
It's stupid.
yeah. I don't give a shit about that
Unnecessary.
I thought it was fun. I'm in.
So you're just gonna watch the trailer again and call it good, or
That's fair. That's a fair
You don't even
criticism.
play those games though.
No, but I'm still interested in the culture. Just like I watched.
Just talk to Phil.
I'd rather watch. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Love you, Phil. I would. I say that to say this. I'm not a brony, but I watched a documentary on bronies because I'm curious of the culture, so to speak.
That's kind of rude comparison.
Why?
I don't know. It just feels off.
Like I think like I'm,
jabroni.
no, like I'm interested in video games as
Yeah.
a concept. I think now I would almost under this new thing that I'm still kicking around in my brain. I don't have it down pat yet. But I think now I'm thinking about getting rid of all of my video games and saying that's it for video games. And not because of the systems and all that kind of stuff, but because I just had this new thing kicking around in my head that I haven't quite nailed down, so I'm not prepared for a discussion on it, but about allowing non-real things to emotionally impact me. And
So no more fiction.
well,
I guess we'll talk about it when you think about it more.
Specifically relating
But, like,
relating to technology.
Yeah,
specifically
I was
relating
thinking,
to
like you
machines.
hardly play video games anyway. I don't think it would change your life much to get rid of it physically.
No. That's just one of many. It's like
right,
there's a domino effect
Yeah.
to it. It's just wrapped up in it.
the fuck are we gonna talk about?
Would it be three of us talking about The Expanse?
Yeah, be like just like every other fucking episode.
Bobby and the Belt of Loaders.
Did you see?
burgers, yep.
Did you see Alien Earth trailer? Did you watch that?
Yeah. Interesting. I'm
horrifying.
looking forward to
Turned off now.
That's
you're so fucking hot and cold, Bobby.
I'm gonna guess that the man sitting at the control desk is a synthetic. That's why he's just sitting there coldly waiting on that girl
Could be.
to die behind him.
Could be. I'll tell you why I'm cold on it now. I like the idea of aliens on Earth running amok. Huge issue. This is not going to be that. This is going to be landing in some remote area that only so many people can get to. It's going to be boarded off. It's basically going to be, instead of on a ship,
Jurassic Park.
instead of on a ship, it's going to be on an even smaller island. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it's going to be so contained. It's like you and 5 people go to Luray Caverns. With a,
Wow, that is a deep cut. I know about
The only thing I know about that
with
is
a
if
couple
you
fucking aliens.
if you go to the Westminster Mall, there's a kiosk that is nothing but flyers for Luray Caverns, which I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
It's in Virginia.
Think about the rent on that little booth.
That's like where front
At the Westminster Mall, it's probably upwards of $20 a week.
and how much do you think that it's bringing in revenue? Do you think it's
$20 a week. It's a break even. There's been meetings about this, Farrell.
At any rate, I probably will not watch it now, just because
That's cool.
I've lost interest.
Not even one episode.
So it's on FX. I don't have FX. So like,
You have Hulu.
does that mean I
You
get
have
it?
Disney.
Does that mean I get FX?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's on Hulu, bro. It's Disney.
so upset with this?
You were turning into an old man.
It's a
I wish
Disney
I-
property.
before
I wish I didn't have. No,
You're just an old man in fashionable sweatpants. That's all you are.
I'm just still the same young man with the same standards is the problem. Tim Burton documentary
That looks really fucking good.
looks good.
I just talking or hearing them talk about like the way he communicates with people. I mean, I get that. Like your mind's going so fast that you can't really even say what you need to say, and the fact that he's that hands-on with everything. You know, a lot of directors, yeah, whatever, okay, action,
Yeah.
fine, next. You know, he's in the weeds there. He's painting fucking blood on something and scattering leaves around, and like that's fucking
Yeah.
dope.
No, I'm in. I'm in.
He's really getting to do what he wanted to do.
And I think he also like he represents one of those guys that had like a fingerprint. You know, like everything he touched, you could tell his fingerprint was on it.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah. He had a style.
Well, I mean, it could be bad. It's cool that he owns, that he does so much of the detail work himself, so that it's 100% his product, and he can't come back later and say, "Oh no, I cared more about this, and we didn't have time for me to be involved in
Right.
that."
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
it's 100% his idea.
Yeah,
Bobby,
Yeah.
where do you think on Johnny Depp's body that Tim Burton's fingerprints are?
yeah, and Helena Bonham Carter,
'cause
and
that-
Danny Elfman,
Those are his. Yeah, those are his muses for sure.
Probably on the scissor blades.
and Michael Keaton.
Snippy.
Oh,
Snip.
yeah, I'm playing too.
And then we have some questions.
Are they blades? What are the?
Scissors.
It's Edward Scissors.
It's in the name.
It's a scissor and then scissors.
No, they're on. Dude,
It's a
why? Who the fuck are we talking to here? Scissors. Sit like sisters. You know, like this.
Scissor Sisters.
Like the Scissor Sisters. No, put the inside of your fingers
Well,
together.
but
Scissoring.
When you take one away, what is that called?
that's just,
Half of a scissor.
Yeah, it's half a scissor.
Or it's just a scissor.
It's just a
No,
blade.
because some people will say, you ever heard somebody refer to a pair of because it is called a pair of scissors. You're probably right.
It's just like a pair of pants. You don't have one
right,
pant.
But
like,
I've heard
can
someone
you hand
I've
me the
heard-
scissor?
I've heard people say
I
that.
said that too.
Like, does anyone have a scissor?
Is it a scissor and then scissors?
I think that's the
No,
technical.
you have a knife, and then you have scissors.
sipping on some scissors.
So Luke
Sipping-
Luke writes in.
One more note. Japan is shutting down some shrines now because of fucking Ubisoft.
What's Ubisoft?
Ubisoft makes Assassin's
video game
Creed, the
company.
video game.
I'd be hard. You might be soft.
It's a disc. It's a disc.
That's good. But they make Assassin's Creed, and people has been asking for a Japan setting forever. And they finally came out with one now that they're on a huge downward spiral. They used to be a very popular company, and now they've been a really shitty company.
They made that last pretty awful, all things considered, Star Wars game.
That too. Like they've been on a downward trend for years, and they're talking about being selling off themselves now. But a lot of people were upset with when the game came out because it's very wildly historically inaccurate,
Okay.
and also the fact
Like
that
World War II, their coverage of World War II in classrooms, is it that
I
inaccurate?
think it's about the Black Samurai maybe, and the woman and the woman in it.
Wait, which part of World War II are we talking about?
the Pearl Harbor part.
All of it. We were on the moon during that time, so there's no way it would have happened.
But so like in the game is full of historic accurate buildings and shrines and stuff, and part of the game is going to these shrines and doing things to them for collectibles in game or whatever. And now of course the Japanese people were not very happy with this when the game came out. They didn't consult the Japanese culture people or whatever.
Who would you call?
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
You just 1-800-JAPAN.
Yeah.
And I need
Hello,
to talk
Japanese
to
Cultural Administration.
to talk to the cultural administration.
I bet you-
I'm making the video game. Yeah.
Oh.
I know I've already got your interest.
Was she a great bit for
Sure, great. Can you give me a hand?
I got to deface the shrine.
I mean, but people. I mean,
So people are defacing the shrines now?
yes,
Fucking
and they're
idiots,
shutting
man.
down. But like the government or the Japanese people in general already knew that they were not happy that this was going to be part of the game.
Right.
Of course, Ubisoft didn't listen to any of that.
They're defacing the shrines in the game or in real life?
in real life because of the
Yeah,
game.
that's not, man.
But like people already know like that's going to happen because people are fucking stupid. So they
Yeah.
put that in the game. They didn't care about that. But yeah, the
But
game,
I don't care. I mean, like, if
You're saying it's
open-
anti-Japanese propaganda from
No,
Ubisoft
it's
to destroy
I
their
said what,
cultural.
and I don't know what word you would use, but like it's kind of like just disrespectful in general.
Agreed.
I feel like that's. I feel like that's kind of video games now.
Yeah, it's not very very respectful to.
Pull people out of cars and shoot
I was going to
them
go with
and steal the car.
illicit a prostitute services and then murder her for the money.
Yeah, I mean, but it's two different things, I guess. You put a real country out there with their real like actual buildings that are actually there, and then part of the objective of the game is to deface these things.
Yeah.
And of course, that culture is pretty respectful to their
Yeah,
cultural things. So it's not the same as vandalizing a fucking, I don't know. What do we care about here?
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, Statue of Liberty.
The Twin Towers. the Twin Towers. We cared about that.
What do we respect around here so much that we don't vandalize it?
Televisions.
Confederate monuments.
Televisions.
Perfect.
Not anymore since you can't beat their ass when they don't wear it.
Electronic God. Anyway, Luke writes in.
Hey, how would you?
Oh, good question.
How much right?
It's the song that
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
Luke writes in and says, "Bad films, good times." I hear you. Hi guys, hope that new spell table is serving you well. I'm digging it.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Bobby, last week you discussed a film that didn't hold up from back in the day. Has anyone else got a film that they recently revisited? One of my friends has never seen the original Highlander. Guilty. So we're going to get a crew together to watch it, and I've got to be ready to get wrecked by my pals if it goes over poorly. Yeah.
I don't think it.
I told you.
That's why Bobby
hold
will
up.
watch The Expanse with me.
Well, I told-
or read Coruscant Nights.
That's not why. I told you, like, I watched Transformers 86
Yeah.
with a guy who was super into Transformers as a kid, but
Yeah.
just never saw the 86 movie, didn't even know it was a thing.
He must have gotten out after.
Well, like, I think he was just a kid and was just like, he wasn't committed to anything. He was just like, yeah, Transformers are cool, GoBots are cool, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, just
Mask
a
is
kid with
cool,
cartoons.
G.I. Joe's cool, you know? So he never knew there was a movie, never saw the movie. Now he's 43, and I showed him the movie for the first time, and I kept looking at him, like, to get, like, man, how's this shit landing? Not impressed. You know, because, like, when you're a kid, you fall right into it. But watching it as a 43-year-old man for the first time, because I try to put
I
myself
can
in
understand
his.
that.
It's goofy. It's goofy as shit.
I try. It's not even that. I try to put myself in his shoes. Now it's like, oh, you just want to sell these new characters to me. I don't give a fuck about these new characters. I don't give a fuck about Springer. At 43, I don't give a fuck about Springer. At 5, I'm like, all right, cool. Who's Springer?
Yeah.
Right. It's interesting.
12, man. I was 12.
Well, you know, whatever. And then he said, Joey, I know your relationship with Magic is rocky, but are you getting involved with the Final Fantasy set coming up?
course.
It looks like fun.
Of course I am. Unfortunately, of
course.
I am my worst enemy. I am the kind of people I hate the most, which is hypocrites.
We all
Well, I mean, they combine two things you love, right?
Yeah, but like the problem I have had is that they've been doing this and I've been against it. And of course, when they come up with something I really like, I want to not. Like my gut instinct is to buy all in, but like I need to support what I believe in also. So it's
fair.
I'm in a hard space with that.
And then he said, thanks for all you do, gents. Been a miserable couple of weeks for me personally, but the pod has helped. So cheers and much love. What a nice thing.
Heard.
Glad it helped. So Astartes Pete writes in, hello, lovely boys. Hope you're good. By the time you're reading this, me and the missus will have celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary.
Congrats.
That's a noise.
Congrats.
It's a long ass time.
There's not a day goes by that I'm not thankful for what I have with my family. It's a million miles away from what I saw in my future. I never thought I was interested in that kind of commitment and absolutely did not want kids. I'm now married and my best friend and I have a daughter who, despite her favorite pastime being wind up daddy, I wouldn't change for the world. Did you have a vision for your family future, and how close or how surprisingly different has it turned out? So I'll tell you, this is you ready for a fucking dose of irony?
I've got one right behind you there, buddy.
When my wife and I moved out together, our goal was we were not going to have kids, and we were going to rescue dogs for the rest of our life.
That sounds awesome.
Turns out,
You hate dogs.
Hate
hate
dogs.
dogs. Love having kids.
Hell, okay.
I remember at one point you said you wanted 6 when I first met you. You were like, yeah, just because Leia was coming along, and and it was, just keep bringing him on. I'm
Yeah,
like, bro, you crazy.
I love them. Dude, they're like, it's fun. It's fun. And the older they get, the more fun I have. So like, it's, like this Jaina phase is like, it's my buddy. I love it.
I never wanted to have children. It was not something
I believe that.
I was interested in. Like my brother held strong. He's 45, I guess, and no kids, and just got married. Like
No
4
women, no
years ago.
kids?
He got woman, no kid. But I have 3. I have one from my first marriage, and then Kelly and I planned to have one, and then had a bonus kid. Just word of advice: if you leave your birth control in the car in Myrtle Beach in July, it apparently makes it not as fucking powerful, even against my mighty swimmers. So, yeah. No, I did not. Dude, I want to be an FBI agent and didn't know anything past that. And then
You watch X-Files? Is that what it is?
no.
At one point, I wanted
just
to be
thought
a
it was
cowboy.
I just thought it was a cool job. I mean, I actually, in my senior year, I actually went through a program and talked to some people about it. And
That's when you went to space camp?
that was in the 7th grade. So, yeah. The ride share is a lot smoother now that the SRBs have separated. That was my line at Space Camp during the launching. So, yeah.
Anybody else?
Well, these fuckers ain't got no kids.
Nothing for me.
I'm right where I wanted to be.
So
You ever been on Maury Povich?
No.
Okay.
Billings wrote in and said, "Hello, gents. Been a minute since I've formally written in. I bring a variety of questions. What group of people would it be most difficult, uncomfortable, and or embarrassing for you to have sex in front of? Family, friends, or coworkers?"
Oh, family, definitely.
Yeah, family.
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty. I feel like that's the most common.
And then he says,
Response?
to clarify the variables, this would be on a blank bed, no covers to hide under, in a well-lit room, butt naked and stone cold sober. Think of it more like an exhibit rather than an intimate moment. Now, that's how
Yeah,
I...
that stone cold sober part's going to
as
be
long
a
as they don't get
problem all the way
fired,
around.
it's fine. Right?
No chance for a singer-swinger situation. No one from the audience is joining in, but they have to watch. Yeah, definitely family.
Yeah. That's
How much are we getting paid for this, Matt? Is this a paid gig? I mean, remember in Nip Tuck where that guy was
I watched that
banging
show.
his son
Wow.
out? Yeah, it was a good show back in the day.
Number 2, in a current day with today's science and medicines for treatments, what disease would you rather have? Type 1 insulin-dependent diabetes or HIV?
Diabetes all day long.
HIV.
Why?
I feel like it's not really that big of a deal anymore.
It's not. I mean, you're gonna live indefinitely, but like the side effects.
I got a buddy of
Is
mine.
it because Magic made it?
Well, he found the cure. It's money. But I got a buddy of mine.
and they gave it to everybody else.
I got a buddy of mine that has this type 1 diabetic, insulin dependent, and he deals with it fairly well. No family history of it. Super fit guy, et cetera, like healthy, by all aesthetics. And he never makes a boo-hoo about it or anything like that. But I watch him a lot, and I feel for him. Like I watch him, like, constantly looking down at this little thing on his belt and just making sure that he's good. And I just my heart breaks for him sometimes because he's a young man starting his way in the world. And
I mean, HIV is manageable, but the side effect of the drugs suck. And also, like, it's just like you do always have to worry about everyone else around you.
Yeah.
Like anytime you have, normally for us, you get a scratch or something, like, you don't give a fuck. It's just a scratch. Like, but if you have that and if you're a
would
responsible
you rather have
person,
HIV or herpes?
herpes any day.
Yeah. Not me.
I'll let you know in a couple of years.
In a
I'm
current,
sure I'll have one of them.
okay.
If not already.
3, what's a dessert that everyone seems to love and enjoy, but you don't care for? You'll eat it if it's the only thing available, but it's not your preference. And what dessert you downright hate or think is disgusting? So mine...
banana pudding with bananas in it.
That's fair. But no. So the first one that I don't really care for, but I'll eat it if it's around. But I'd rather almost have any other dessert. It's cheesecake.
Wow.
Like, and I'm talking about a straight cheesecake, like a not like
Not
some
the
sort
cake
of
ones.
No trans
Not the what?
cheesecakes.
not like yeah. No.
I think you meant plain.
Yes, like your
Like the
standard
New York style.
Yeah, like your standard cheesecake, like that pumpkin cheesecake my wife makes. Like I'll take that. Like I'll like sign me up for that. But like if it's just like a standard cheesecake, like you go to the store and you're like, can I have a cheesecake? And that's what they put in the box.
Yeah, I love cheese. I would just eat a block of cheese anyway. It's the same thing.
I like cheese too.
I don't.
I have to say this question does not apply to me. I can't think of a dessert you present to me that I'm going to be like, gross. No thanks.
Well, I won't say it's gross, but like
Cake.
cream puffs. Cake is
Just regular cake.
regular cake. Same.
I love regular cake,
I'll-
especially like a sheet cake.
No,
Oh my god, that's
Yeah, I'm a big
Prefer
fan
not to
too.
eat it.
it's just like pound.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd rather
I
just eat the
don't-
frosting.
I don't think I can answer. I don't have.
I mean, I'll eat it. I'll enjoy it, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not happy about it.
Now, I'm not going to
Yeah,
say there's some exotic stuff that I wouldn't want, but most of the time, dessert, I'm down.
I feel that way about homemade cake. Like if somebody makes like a homemade cake where they have like the circle ones, and sometimes it's like a stack, 2 or 3,
And
and,
it's
then they
like
put the
blotchy
icing, and they put the
icing.
icing over top.
Yeah.
That I have no interest in. If it's there and I'm getting served a piece, I'll eat it, but I don't really have any interest in it. But like a sheet cake from BJ's, so to speak, I'm fucking that up. I'm fucking that
I
up.
do like
know that?
grocery.
I'm just not eating it at all.
Did you know that most wedding cakes are just box cake mix?
Oh, interesting.
I believe it.
I don't know. Somebody that makes
it
wedding-
had-
Way
for
to
me, it's-
ruin my non-existent wedding.
It's got to be
Like,
like
just start crashing them. It's like, is this boxed? Oh, and leaving.
I knew it.
it's got to be frosting to cake ratio for me. It's got to be at least 50% frosting.
Holy shit! You know you can't just eat sugar.
No, like the cake like layers should be as thick as the frosting layers.
Get you a Smith Island.
No, I disagree.
But that's
Yeah.
how I like
I'd
to
rather
eat.
So-
just have a beer.
So yeah, well, I would rather drink.
Is-
I would.
is that
I
a
would.
dessert, though?
I would take a drink over a dessert any day of the week.
I'd rather have dessert.
But in terms of desserts that I hate, with the exception of a strawberry shortcake, any cake with
Because it's the texture for you, isn't it?
any fucking dessert with fruits associated with it.
Like bananas.
You
But
just like hate
bananas-
mixing shit. You don't
banana-
like things touching.
no, it's that to me is almost like a texture thing. Like I don't like my fruits and vegetables getting involved in my sweets. like I don't
Fruits
like.
are sweets.
Yeah, but it's not the
It's
same.
nature's candy, Bobby.
Right, but nature's candy and processed candy taste a lot different. So like I don't like zucchini bread, banana bread, banana pudding.
Come on.
I eat all that.
raspberry brownies,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Type of
Love
shit.
it.
Like
Let's
I'm some sort of scone with.
Hey, listen.
like-
When all these things appear in your life that you don't want,
Yeah.
you can call me and Joey.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
on the
I'm
way.
down.
Well, my kids and my wife like them.
No, cream puffs for me is like my least favorite.
I
don't like the.
I like a cream puff.
I'm not a.
the puff itself is very.
I will say I do need to add a caveat. I'm never going to order an eclair. I'll eat them, but I just don't think they're that good.
So
like 'em.
I'm with you. I'm with you with one exception. In donut form, I'll fuck it up.
Okay, that's fine, but
That's-
just
yeah.
the whole like eclair and the
Yeah,
ricotta
with the
filling.
roll.
I'm
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
It's fine. I'll eat it if presented, but if I can order something else, I'll order something.
like a cream pie.
Hey, yo,
Yeah, but I mean, I can serve one of them up. So
right.
we got one from Todd R. Hello, NRR crew. So it's just a requirement now for HBO shows to drop kick and balls every episode,
Yep.
right?
That's
Yep,
not
yep.
asses, yeah.
I've seen Walter Goggins hog more times than I care for absolutely no reason most of the time. Who the fuck is that?
Walton Goggins is.
No, I heard that the
the-
name.
Well, hang on. He's all right.
and-
Hang on. Let me give him some context. White Lotus season 3. I'm just going to say this: the British girl with the teeth.
Yeah.
Her man, who's also in Your Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Walton Goggins.
Where's his dick been?
I guess you
Who
should
knows?
continue to read.
Also, the wife and I are quite enjoying The Pit on Max. It's pretty intense and
Okay.
graphic emergency room drama. I have heard that that's
oh yeah,
great.
it's got one of the guys from ER.
I have heard that that's great. I might
I
check
work
that
next
out.
to an ER. I don't need that in my life.
Bonus question today, Bubby. How many people do you think you've gotten to adapt the 100% phrase? Something I've never said before listening, which my wife has commented on and noticed Scott, Sam, and others started using it heavy now. I haven't noticed, but the 100% I jacked from, so to speak, from Shang Li.
Yeah.
I took it from Shang Li. 100%. Like what you call it? One time, him and Shang Li and I were having a conversation, and we just kept 100%. Like, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, fucking, yeah, fuck, 100%, 100%. And my wife got so mad. She was like, "You guys are at 2,000,000%,
100.
100%." And then last question. This is from Ryan C. He says, random question. Would you rather go skinny dipping with a bunch of dudes or have a Latin soccer announcer narrate your life like the Wonder Years, but you have to hear it? Personally, so long as they don't yell, come, every time, I could live with it. But if not, No. Lacy Lips, Ryan C.
I'm gonna go with the running soundtrack.
I think that would be interesting.
Isn't there,
I think it would give me
isn't there
some
a movie? Isn't there a
But
Will
it's in
Ferrell movie? Where
Spanish.
this happens?
But it's in Spanish.
You're gonna learn
that
it
would
eventually.
naturally make you learn
You're gonna
Spanish,
learn Spanish.
because you're immersed in it.
I have a feeling I won't.
Can you ask the narrator
That's how to learn
questions
English.
like AI? Is it an AI narrator? Can you ask? But you have to ask in Spanish.
Well,
¿Dónde
so-
está la biblioteca?
What's a library?
Librarian. It's a dodgeball.
The real problem is going to be if the
been saying that for
narrator
years.
starts judging.
Probably since she's all dodgeball.
Oh yes.
Yeah, if it gets a dark
It's like
tone.
biased.
Yeah, he's like, this motherfucker doing this dumb shit again. I'm like, hey, chill out, dude.
I would like the
My
insight.
life, I'm gonna live it.
I think I need to know how long I had to skinny dip for. You know, is this like a half hour skinny dipping with some dudes? Because I mean, I
Till
can
you
get past.
I mean, I don't
Hey, yeah,
see that as a bad.
So 8 minutes.
8 minutes. That's a long time.
That's gracious.
With a
I
bunch
mean,
of
is it is it an indoor pool during the day? Is it at the beach?
yeah.
It
There's
just
some
sounds like something to
variables
do.
there.
I don't think it sounds like a negative, but for me, the narration is a positive. It's
the
like a
cool thing
bonus.
about that, guys, is you could all just leave on your fucking underwear and not make it completely weird. The fact that you're doing this anyways.
With that, I do want to wrap it up. Happy 40th birthday to Pharaoh.
40
Welcome
trips
to the club.
around.
Yep. We're back in the
sun.
40 and over club on Nerd Rage. And thanks for coming out on your birthday, because you
course.
could be doing better things. And there was something.
Probably 27 different things.
And and I wanted to say one other thing is that I did for my Nerd Week, we did the Nine Inch Nails show on Sunday. It was 4 hours and 30 minutes. I cried like a baby during it. So I contemplated cutting it out, but I was like, you know what? It's an authentic experience, and let's just keep it documented. So if you want to have me completely humiliated, feel free to check out Bobby Boogie Bop in April for the Nine Inch Nails show. It's
Cut into a
good too.
ringtone.
It's good too. And actually, after the show was over, Jaina bought the vinyl for Downward Spiral, because we really breaking it down and everything. And she was like, "Holy fuck! I never even realized this. I'm getting it." She bought the vinyl for Downward Spiral, and my wife and her both really enjoyed the information that I've And I ended up going, because we talk about openers and closers. I ended up going with Head Like a Hole for the opener, and I went with the song called Into This Twilight for the closer. And the reason why is because when I did the Downward Spiral during the course of his career, I couldn't leave Hurt off of it. I had to comment on Hurt in context to the Downward Spiral. So there you go. And with that, shout out to Marilyn Phil on Twitter and our notes. Shout out to Dante on Facebook, and
Flappy labius.
Moist thighs.
Tasty taint rot.
Tight dick player.